And no. I don't want that. That's the end. How can I go? Oh, okay. That's how it works. Okay, so I'm gonna do a new game. Doesn't matter. I'm not gonna save my game. Oh, it's already we can already see the image of everything. So here we have Edgeworth, we have On Karma, we have Lang, Gumshoe, and Kay. So we're gonna do episode 1 because I need to practice my my Edgeworth a bit. So here we go. Episode 1, Turnabout Visitor, March 14, 1:16 a.m., question mark. To make sure the defendant is found guilty, what other choice do I have? That's the job of a prosecutor, after all. That may be true, but why? Why go this far? Okay, so it's the conversation with two people. Sorry, maybe I wasn't clear enough, but a guilty verdict is all that matters to me. No matter what the cost. Gunshot in Edgeworth's office. And we see a guy with a golden medal. Yeah, they always show the first culprit. I'm a prodigy of armed prosecutors. Always have been, always will be. March 14, 2:05 a.m. Prosecutor Buildings, 12th floor hallway. It's hard to believe that I've been away from my office for a whole month. I hope Detective Gumshoe has been keeping an eye on my office and keeping it clean. The door is unlocked. Detective Gumshoe? What's this smell? It's very familiar. Blood? There's blood in my office? Oh, it's so dark in here, I can barely see a thing. Drops his suitcase. What the? What's the meaning of this? Gumshoe? Did you lay a dead man in my office? Freeze. Man in the dark, we have no idea who it is. Is holding not Gumshoe, Edgeworth at gunpoint. Identify yourself. ... Shut up. You've got some nerve committing murder in the prosecutor's office. He shot the guy shots the frame where his old uniform was hanging, and the frame drops. Is that a threat? ... Let me make one thing very clear. What? No one gets away with committing murder in my office. No one. ... And then he slowly, the culprit slowly walks away and leaves. My name is Miles Edgeworth, and I work as a prosecutor in my local district. Little did I know that upon my return home after a month abroad, I would be thrust into a multitude of cases and some very frantic and busy days. March 14, 2:56 a.m., High Prosecutor's Office, Room 1202. Edgeworth, ... I finished photographing the victim's body, sir. Very well. Please continue your investigation. Yes, sir. Forensics guy is going away. Now he's dusting for prints near the frame that's been shot. ... Ah! Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Are you okay, sir? Keep it down, detective. This is a crime scene.
Oh, when I heard that a murder has taken place in your office, I ran up here straight away, sir.
This is Dick Gumshoe. He's a detective in the local precinct, and the one they assigned to handle this murder case for the time being.
You're looking a little pale, sir. Are you hurt?
No, I'm perfectly fine. However...
Ah, look what they did to your office. It's totally trashed.
I'll say, the culprit sullied my floor with dirt rather well. No one gets away with tracking mud into my office.
Whoa, sounds like you're getting really burned up over this whole thing, sir.
This crime was committed in my office, so it is my responsibility to solve it.
Oh ho, that's just like you, Mr. Edgeworth. Okay, time to do some investigating.
Agreed. Our first course of action is to gather relevant facts and leads. We must not overlook anything, no matter how small, if we are to find the truth. So I'll keep any leads or information we find etched in the forefront of my mind. Speaking of things that pique my curiosity, why of all places did the murder occur into my office?
Is it really a coincidence that the murder took place in my office? In the logic box.
I get the nagging feeling that this is something important to keep in mind.
Yeah, I was wondering that myself, sir. I mean, you can't really say it's just a coincidence, can you?
No, not really. Especially because of this.
The key to your office?
For security reason, this office door has a lock built on it. In the logic box. Gotta be quiet at the crime scene, you don't want to disturb the dead. Yeah, you want to disturb the dead.
What do you mean, sir?
If you think about it carefully and use logic, it should become clear to you.
Logic? What's that, sir?
By finding the connection between two pieces of information and connecting them, new information is born. That is the end result of using logic.
So, how do you use it, sir?
First, I recall information through the logic button and then connect them together. I'm gonna open my logic box, touch the logic button and recall the facts.
Crime scene, my office, office key. Connect.
For security reasons, all prosecutors' doors are outfitted with locks.
Among every other doors in every other rooms in the world.
Which means it would have been hard for the murderer and the victim to get in here. Ergo, it's impossible to dismiss the location of this crime as mere coincidence.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking, sir.
There must be a reason why someone infiltrated my room. What was the killer after?
The killer's gold. In the logic box.
You're really on the ball, totally. Oh, you're really on the ball today, Mr. Edgeworth. That's some beautiful logic, sir.
Yes, well, when you follow leads to their conclusion, only the truth remains. However, if the information doesn't line up properly, I may stray far from the truth as well. But if I think carefully before piecing leads together, the logic should flow. Well, let's get started with our investigation, shall we?
Yes, sir.
Begin investigation. Aye, prosecutor's office, room 12-2.
The basis of any good investigation is to examine everything, sir.
I know that. And when I want to examine something, I simply touch the examine button.
Oh, if you ever feel lost and want to talk, just touch the partner button, okay? I'll give you great, precise advice as an ace investigator, sir.
Something to try later if I have free time, I suppose.
Okay, there's a gun on the floor. Let's check the gun.
What have we here? Could this perhaps be the murder weapon? If so, it would mean that the killer made their escape after disposing of their gun here. I think I've seen one of these before. Care to enlighten me as to where?
Oh! I know! I was issued the exact same model! I think.
Detective. I don't really like
guns all that much. I mean, they're really dangerous, sir. But now that I think about it, you do see this model around the precinct a lot, sir. I don't use mine much, except in emergencies, so that's why I didn't recognize it.
So it's the same type of revolver as the one used by this precinct's detectives.
Front of the crime scene, revolver, same model as those used by detectives. In the logic box.
Okay, let's talk to you. Do you have anything to report?
Sir, yes sir. Nothing out of the ordinary right now, sir. I'm guarding the door. And yet there's something out of the ordinary right in front of my eyes.
Talk about a contradiction.
Something's out of the ordinary, huh? I should look around a bit more.
Okay, here's a sofa.
I hope we can solve this case quickly. I would like to return to relaxing on this sofa.
Ah, that thing looks a billion times softer than my mattress at home, sir. Can I sit on it too? Just a little while, sir, please.
Detective Gumshoe, you know I can't allow that. Until this case is solved, neither of us has time to spare, let alone rest.
You're right, sir. I'm gonna work hard and be a real trooper to the end.
I'm gonna take a sip of water.
Even once this case is over, I don't think we can afford to take any time off.
There you go. Oh shit. I think one of my eyelashes folded wrong and fell into my eye. Yeah, it was easily removed. I'm having dead eyelashes. Okay, my chessboard.
Ouch! They even knocked over your chess set! I had all set up, ready for when you got back. I figured we could play a few games.
I had no idea you were interested in chess.
I'm actually pretty good at checkers, so I thought I'd give chess a try.
In that case, I suppose I can set some time aside after we solve this case. Though I don't expect the games to tax my mental acuity much.
Okay, let's check the body.
Oh, they finished photographing the body, so it should be alright to examine the area. I won't rest until I inspect every suspicious-looking nook and cranny.
Alright, the body.
Let's see here. There's blood all over his lower abdominal area.
It looks like the bullet passed clean through his stomach area, sir.
In other words, he was shot.
Yep, and until the autopsy's done, I don't think we'll know much more than that.
Please have the body sent to the morgue once they're done processing the crime scene.
Crime scene notes. Document discovered in my office. Crime scene note jotted on my organizer.
Are you going to be okay with keeping tracks of the evidence we find, sir?
Of course. This is the safest way I know to keep track of it all.
Alright, if you say so.
I keep all of the evidence I find either in or with my organizer. When I want to re-examine the piece, I have but to touch the organizer button.
Is it with R? Yeah, it's with R.
But with the organizer isn't only for evidence. I keep people profiles on it, in it as well.
R again? Yeah. Okay, so bullet went clean through the victim's abdomen. Body was found at 2:05 a.m. He has a bloody. The inside of the palm of his hand it's solid with blood. Question mark. The victim in this case. Why was he killed in my office? No age, no gender. Oh crap! Oh, never mind.
What do we have here?
Hey, I think I've seen one of those before. It's a police badge, detective. Oh, Hey! I have the exact same thing, actually. We're quinkydink.
Let's take a look inside. Mr. Buddy Fate, rank detective. It would appear that our victim was a detective, just like you.
According to this badge and ID, Buddy Fate is a precinct detective in the logic box.
I seem to have gathered a few pieces of pertinent information. Now to calmly use logic and figure out if any of them are connected to each other.
The revolver, and the victim was a detective. Most likely, the gun on the floor belongs to him.
The revolver, the standard model used by detectives, could it have belonged to our recently departed? Detective Gumshoe, could you please thoroughly check the victim's body one more time?
Yes, sir. On it now, sir. Excuse me, pal. Let's see. What have we got here? Mr. Edgeworth, sir. This guy's wearing a gun holster.
So it appears that our killer somehow managed to take the victim's gun from him.
Victim's revolver data jotted down in my organizer.
Let's see what else we can find out about this revolver. As I always say,
you gotta look really carefully at each piece of evidence. You can use the scroll wheels to rotate an object. There's no such thing as a bad angle. Use the slide bar or the X and Y arrows to zoom in and out to get at the nitty-gritty.
Oh shit, I can examine that.
to think that it's so easy to take a life with just the pull of a trigger.
You know, I can't ever see myself really liking guns. Oh, but I love the ones they use at track and field meets to start races. If you take off before it's fired, everybody always ends up following your lead.
To chase you down from a false start, detective.
Now that you mention it, even when I finish first, I always wind up in last place.
Let's check the barrel. So one bullet was fired.
It looks like only one round was fired from this.
Wow! So the killer killed the Vic with just one shot after wresting the gun from him? Sounds like the guy knew how to handle a gun, huh, Mr. Edgeworth?
We have no proof for now, but that is a distinct possibility.
Okay, so let's check the hand.
Let's give the body a once-over. There's blood all over his lower abdominal. Looks like the bullet passed clean through the stomach area. Okay, so there's nothing on his hand. Mr. Fate's holster. I bet he never thought he'd be killed by his own gun.
Yeah, shot down by the very thing that's supposed to protect the people. I just can't get over that, sir. It's not right. We're gonna get the killer for this.
Maybe it's because the victim is a fellow detective. But for a second, Gumshoe sounds even more detective-like than usual.
Oh.
Your files are all over the floor, sir.
They probably fell during the struggle between the victim and his killer.
Signs of a struggle. My files are a mess, pointing to a struggle between the victim and the killer in the logic box.
Oh, and I tried so hard to keep its place spotless while you were away. I mean, I just rendered all the time and effort I put in pointless.
I don't recall ever asking you to clean my room.
Well, I watered the flowers every day, just like you requested, sir. I just added cleaning to the list as a weekend special. For about half a day every Saturday, I'd come in and clean this place until it sparkled.
Does he have a life? I guess this is about all we're going to find out. We should send the body to
Jim!
Jim! Oh why, how could this have happened to a guy like you? Okay, so this is the culprit. The guy's wearing a gold medal and he's putting his jacket on his shoulder. So now he's gonna pretend, oh no, why? Oh, why? Taking at the prime of his life. Edgeworth, ...
Are you alright?
Don't touch me! Leave me alone! Just let me be!
Sorry, but I can't do that. The investigation is still ongoing, so please refrain from touching the body.
Oh! The body? The body? Don't talk about him like he's just some lump of flesh! Look at him. Jim looks like he's just turning for the night. Tucked away. Sweet dreams, little prince. Sure. Just in a blood-stained suit, pal. Alright, but where are my manners?
Aren't you that prosecutor?
Why, yes I am, thumbs up. I'm Jack Sportsman, prosecutor. Jim here was my partner in crime busting.
I'm Miles Edgeworth, and like you, I am also a prosecutor.
Detective Jim Gumshoe, sir. So, you're Miles Edgeworth. I guess this is your office.
Yes, that is correct.
Then it was you! You're the one who killed Jim.
Don't go around jumping to conclusion, pal. Just calm down, okay?
I will not. I know how things work around here. High prosecutor's office doors all have locks built into them. And only the owner of the office has the key to this or her own office door.
That is correct. However, I was not the one who killed your partner.
Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth has been overseas on a business trip this whole time, pal. And the key to the door was with me the entire time, okay? So the only one who could get in here was me. Wait a minute. That means... Oh, I'm not sure what that means. Am I in trouble? Glenn? Glenn!
So it was you then! You're Jim's killer!
No way, pal! No. You got it all wrong.
Everyone, calm down. Mr. Portsman, correct? If you're a real prosecutor, you should know to stay collected. The investigation has only just begun. Isn't it too early to be drawing conclusions?
Alright, I get the point. You're right. My mistake. I tend to get a little too hot-headed sometimes. You sure are one cool customer though, Mr. Edgeworth. I've heard all the rumors about you. You're the great genius prosecutor. You're something of a legend, you know, thumbs up. Anyway, let's call a truce and work together, okay? Now, how about a handshake to seal the deal? Edgeworth, ...
A pleasure to work with you then.
You guys were conducting your investigation, right? Sorry for barging in like that. Carry on then, this is your room after all.
Thank you, I intend to.
I just wanted a little more time to say goodbye to Jim, thumbs up. You there!
Sir!
Forensics guys, come here. Bro and shake. I want you to capture this scene on film for me. My final farewell to my partner Jim. He's taking the picture of both. Edgeworth ...
I should probably give them some space.
Alright, so in the meantime, let's check something else. Okay, it's for me to talk to Gumshoe. I don't want to talk to Gumshoe. Can I talk to the...
How's it coming along?
Please, I need absolute silence. This picture is too important to mess up.
I'll leave the man to his heart.
Examine my desk.
It's been a while since I sat at his desk. Oh, how I've missed you. It's so tidy that it looks newer than when I first bought it.
Oh, yeah. That thing's so polished that it makes mirrors jealous.
Don't tell me you had no other work the entire time I was away, Detective.
My job is to protect your office, sir.
And you did such a good job protecting it that a murder occurred in it. ...
Oh, that's harsh, sir.
You have to admit the desk has never looked better, so I guess I can't dock his pay.
Oh, it's the same thing. How come can I...
Watch out for the teacup fragments there, sir.
That killer is going to pay. He broke my tea set.
Yikes, you're really mad over this.
This tea set is very dear to my heart and can only be bought in England. It costs more than your whole month's paycheck.
What? Now I feel like the killer has wasted one of my monthly paychecks.
Okay, here's the King of Prosecutors trophy, the broken shield.
Oh, it's your trophy, the Knights of Prosecutors, right?
King of Prosecutors. And it's not a trophy, it's a shield.
They only send this to the winning prosecutor, right?
Yes, but I have no real interest in the perceived worth of other people. As for my own worth, that is something only I can determine for myself.
That's so slick, sir. I'm gonna have to try saying that sometimes.
Unfortunately for him, his monetary worth is tied directly to his worth to me. Well, it's a good thing my Steel Samurai doll will spare any harm.
Speaking of which, I still haven't actually sat down and watched any of that show. What's this about again?
Well, I don't know much about it myself, but...
Liar! This is a clear case of a closet fan. He doesn't want to admit he's a Steel Samurai fan.
The hero of the Steel Samurai, warrior of the Neo Old Tokyo, is the Steel Samurai. And his goal is to defeat the evil magistrate. It's a show geared towards kids. However, its high production values is riveting plot draws in a number of adults as well. Spin-offs like Pink Princess, Warrior of Little Old Tokyo, and the Nico Samurai, along with the deluge of merchandise, and even a new stage show gives it presence.
You sure know a lot. Are you sure you're not some sort of rabbit fanboy?
Of course not! Anyone that keeps up with society knows at least this much. And that conversation lasted longer than expected. Let's return to the investigation, shall we? Is this yet another batch of fresh flowers?
The ones that come up with the card attached every month like clockwork for you. You mean? Yeah. Speaking of that, let's see what's on the card this month, sir. All will be resolved. Signed, Wendy.
So yeah, for those who don't know, in the Phoenix Wright universe, Wendy Allbag sends Miles Edgeworth a new bouquet of flowers every month. And we're gonna see her soon in the game, because she's a recurrent character. For some reason, some fans like her very much when she shrimps over young men. Even though she's an old lady, she comes sometimes as annoying. She's not... People love to see her, but she's not anyone's favorite character, if you know what I mean. Okay. So let's move on.
Oh, Miss Irony, how powerful are thy thorns?
Wendy, isn't that the name of that old lady with a whiny voice that stalks?
That's enough, detective. You need not remind me further.
Alright, so let's examine the...
Ah! Your jacket, sir! What's it doing on the floor?
Oh, it must have fallen off the wall when the killer tried to threaten me by firing a round.
So the killer not only shot the victim, but they shot your jacket as well? They dare to shoot the ultra special jacket that you made, that you made your prosecutorial debut in? What if they had shot through it? It would have been a disaster.
Oh, it's not worth getting worked up over, Detective. Not when there's something more here.
Huh? Like what?
I take it you haven't noticed it yet, Detective. There's a giant contradiction right in front of us.
Really?
Did I say contradiction? He must be running off on me. I'm starting to sound like him. That blue-dressed, feather-haired lawyer that I shall never name for some obscure reason. But I have my own methods and I will conduct this investigation my way. When the scene before me contradicts a piece of evidence or seems off, that's when my deductive skills comes into play. First, I have to spot that holds the contradiction.
The bullet.
This is it. This bullet holes is where the contradiction lies. When I spot something that's off, I should touch the deduce button with conviction. And when I have found sufficient proof to prove the contradiction, I present it. This is how I do things.
So... yeah, I'm gonna present the gun because only one shot was fired.
This bullet hole is the contradiction.
What do you mean, sir?
It's elementary. 2 shots were fired in this room. The first felled the victim, and then the second felled this frame.
Hey, that's right!
However, this gun was only fired once,
Hey, that's true too!
which means that one of these 2 bullets was fired from a different gun. Did the killer have another gun prepared for tonight?
Another handgun. Other than the victim's gun that I found, could there be another gun in play? In the logic box!
By the way, I noticed something, sir.
Yes?
What's that thing sticking out from behind the frame?
Ah, that. It's a secret safe.
Secret safe? Oh, I smelled money, sir.
I'll spare us the trouble and just say it. Nothing like that you're imagining is inside. Now, if you could kindly move this frame out of the way.
Roger that. Achoo! Achoo! Oh, talk about dusty.
I suppose that's what happened when I'm not here to dust it once in a while.
I had no idea there was a safe here, or I would have kept it clean for you, sir. So, when did you put this thing in?
Oh, it wasn't something I had installed personally. Every prosecutor's office has one.
Really? I had no idea.
Well, only prosecutors are supposed to have knowledge of their existence.
So, what's inside, Mr. Android?
Right now, nothing. We only use them to store especially important evidence when a trial's in session.
That's it? Talk about squashing my hopes and dreams.
Secret safe data jotted down in my organizer.
I won't rest until I inspect every suspicious looking nook and cranny.
I never knew there was a safe in and back here.
Well, if detectives knew about them, they wouldn't be secret now, would they?
Are there any other secret hidden things in this room?
Even if there were, it would defeat the purpose of them being hidden if I told you. So don't bother looking for them.
So there's no, like, hidden camera around, right?
Hmm? And what if there was?
No, it's nothing. Forget I said anything.
Do I even want to ask what he's been doing in my office while I've been away?
Alright. There's some tray smudge against the panel.
Now this is odd.
You found something, sir?
This keypad, don't you find it to be a bit too clean?
Yeah, there's a thick layer of dust all around it, but not on the keypad itself.
You there, forensic scientist.
Yes, sir.
Could you please dust this area for fingerprints?
You got it, sir.
I couldn't find, let alone lift, a single print. Looks like it was wiped down well.
Wiped fingerprints in the logic box. Secret save data updated in my organizer.
As I thought. It appears that logic is the only way around this setback. Time for rationally and calmly play connect the dots with information we have.
Okay. Okay, so killer's gold, wiped fingerprints,
I believe I figured out what the murder was after.
Well, what is it, sir?
The fact that the safe was wiped clean of fingerprints suggests that the criminal had at least attempted to open my safe, making the culprit's motive for breaking and entering theft, I believe.
motive theft, question mark. The culprit tried to open the safe in the logic box.
I wonder if knowing that the motive behind this breaking was theft changes what the other pieces of information can tell me about this crime.
Signs of struggle, motive theft.
There is a possibility that the files played on the floor are not the result of a struggle between the victim and the killer.
Oh, you mean like it could be from when the killer tried to find something, sir?
Precisely. We need to figure out if any of the files have been stolen.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna shelve files like you've never seen before, even at a library.
Sure. Let's give it a try.
Why do all the good ones always die young? Surely you must ponder that every once in a while, Mr. Edgeworth. ...
No matter how much we lament, the dead will not come back to life. All we can do is search for the truth.
And? So what are we supposed to do? How do we go about finding the truth?
First, we calmly restore the files to their rightful place.
You got it. Here, let me help.
So this file goes here, and that book goes there.
You sure know a lot about where things go despite it being Mr. Edgeworth's office.
Because I'm the one who keeps it tidy, pal, okay? Done.
Oh.
It would appear that the murder was definitely committed here.
Yep. We see bloody handprints on the second shelf where the book from 1A to 1H are. And then there's big blood stain that is shaped like a W. It would suggest that the guy, when the guy felt, it fell on his ass and his bloodied hand were on the floor. And there's even some files that are stained. OA, 06, OC, OC, okay. There's some, the white books have blood stains and another bullet wound. But that doesn't make sense. I think they were poorly aligned. I think the 0 comes first. Because that would make sense. Like, if the 0 books were on the top shelf where the 1s are, the bullet would be between the first set of bloody hands.
The bloodstains on the bookshelves are still fresh.
I suspect that the victim was killed in a standing position, hence the prints on the shelf.
the guy fell into the floor, right? The blood on the floor is kind of grossing me out.
Detective, I don't have the time to deal with your weak stomach. Sorry. With your weak stomach right now.
But you know I'm no good with blood, sir.
I'm certain there's something wrong with this picture.
There's the bullet here. Is this spot somehow to connect the evidence I hold? Let's try the body. Oh.
There is clearly a contradiction here with this bullet hole.
What do you mean, sir?
You don't see? Quite simply, the bullet hole itself is too low. If the victim was shot in the stomach, the hole should be much higher up.
But what if the guy was shocked while he was sitting or lying down, sir?
That would be illogical. The victim leaned against this shelf here after being shot, which suggests that he was standing when he was shot.
Then that means... Wait, what does that mean, sir?
It means you need to use your brain every once in a while instead of mine, detective. In any case, it means someone made a faulty assumption. And it was from this mistake that our current contradiction was born.
What is the faulty assumption that caused this problem with the bullet hole's position? The position of the body, the position of the imprint, the order of the files.
I believe the order of the files is a bit off.
You mean I put them back in the wrong order just now? Hey! Actually, I think the labels on the files are wrong, sir.
A, B, C, D, E, no.
Oh?
Yeah! You see how the files that were shot begin with the number 0? What are those doing all the way down there after 1, 2, and 3? That's really weird.
Actually, the way they are organized now is the correct order. They are exactly as I see them in my mind's eye.
But the numbers are all out of order.
Those white binders are special, so they are arranged a little differently. But from this, we know that the files were not in this order when the crime occurred. Aha! So that's it! I believe the killer made the same incorrect assumption as you just did, detective. Let's rearrange the files in numerical order and see what we find out.
Do you think it'd be okay to prop the body back up to how it was before it was moved?
Okay, now the whites are on the top. So apparently the way they were stacked was correct. As I noticed that they're shaped in color, since 1 through H have the same color, and there's like 3 C files and 5 0 files, and since they're special they go at the very bottom. But somebody made a mess and rearranged the book in the numerical order, as he thought that's how Edgeworth sorts his files. And yeah,
They finished processing. Oh, sorry. They have finished processing the crime scene, so I don't see why it wouldn't be. If you please, Detective Gumshoe. As I suspected, the bullet hole is now where it should logically be.
okay, so now, oh, okay. The body has been moved in a position to fit the blood stains. The hands are on the blood stains, his ass is on the blood stain, and we discovered there are some files that are hidden in the left side that was hidden by the body. I believe there's a book missing, a book or two, which is OF and OG, and OH is missing.
The killer went through my files first before shooting Mr. Fate, and then put the files back in numerical order, I guess. Exactly. And when they processed to shoot the victim...
But why would someone kill a man and then look through your files one more time?
Puzzling indeed. The files were thrown into disarray twice.
Once before and once after crime. But why? Culprit rearranged my file twice, once before, once after. In the logic box.
Now the crime scene is as it was the time of the murder. Time to give it another look.
I'm gonna see those little thing over there.
This.
Yep. There's OH, OI, OJ. Okay, so their OH is missing. And should it be in its place? Somebody wrote in blood and backwards the name Gumshoe. So they try to say that the Gumshoe did it, and then the victim in the moment of death wrote, just like in Danganronpa, wrote the name from a standing position with an inverted arm, which would make upside down letters.
Why does it say Gumshoe on there in blood?
I would say it's some incredibly incriminating evidence.
Yes, indicative of criminal activity indeed.
No, wait, there's gotta be some mistake. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me, say something, sir. ...
It appears that one of my files was stolen.
Is that all, sir? What about me and my situation?
Is this what the killer was really after?
Stolen file data jotted down in my organizer. Investigation complete. Looks like Jim was able to leave us the name of his killer in the end. And this most important message managed to reach us. Thumbs up.
I'm telling you, it wasn't me!
You can't be terribly pleased to hear that your beloved partner is the guilty party.
If you are going to accuse Detective Gumshoe of being the culprit, I sincerely hope you have some proof to back it up.
Jim's words, they're more than enough. When you say,
if that's how you want to play it, then at least allow me to understand your reasoning.
you got it, thumbs up.
I don't like this one bit. There's something strange about this man's attitude. And there must be some sort of flaw in his logic waiting for me to dig out.
Mr. Edgeworth, what are you going to do?
What I always do in court. I'm going to cross-examine him. One way or another, I'll expose the flaw in his logic with his technique.
Oh, how do you do that? Can you explain it to me, sir?
Might as well. Well, maybe some other time. Well, if you came here and you're a regular of this channel, you already know how we work. With Apollo Justice, they explain how. With Ace Attorney Investigation 2, Miles Edgeworth, the prosecutor's pat, they explain it as well, so I'm gonna skip this.
Mr. Portsman, if you're ready...
If you don't have time, you could just say so, sir.
I just ignore Gumshoe. Mr. Portsman's logic. Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. Further, you messed the files to make it look like you had committed the theft instead. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his buddy was hiding. And it will be his final words that you will be brought to justice.
You intend to argue that the victim's dying message points to his killer?
I can hear Jim's voice and he's calling out for his killer's arrest.
Are you sure you're not mishearing his words, Mr. Portsman? There is no way Detective Gumshoe is the culprit here. I will find the flaw in this man's logic and expose him with credible evidence.
Rebuttal. Portsman's logic. Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's guns from him and shot him dead.
Hold it!
You know, there's something I've been meaning to ask.
What is it?
Why do you call the victim Jim, when clearly his name is Buddy Fate?
Ah, isn't it obvious? Jim is the perfect name for my companion. Jack and Jim. Don't those two names go together like peanut butter and jam? But Jim isn't even close to the guy's real name. Well, Jacques and Buddy just sounds off somehow. Besides, he was the third of a bunch of guys I decided to nickname Jim. Thumbs up.
He talks about the victim like he was his pet.
Further, you messed up the files to make it look like you had committed theft instead.
Hold it!
Do you really think it was necessary to dishevel my shelves twice to do that?
That's true. Okay then, maybe his real intent was theft. Thumbs up. Hey! Are you accusing me of stealing something from Mr. Edgeworth? Ah, it's a possibility. Maybe your salary has been cut so much that life is getting a little too rough to handle? I'll have you know that I eat 3 squares meals every day, pal! Okay, so all 3 of them happen to be instant noodles. But!
Poor thing. What an evil prosecutor you were paired up with. And what a motive, no? That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of a bookshelf.
Hold it!
Why would Detective Gumshoe do such a thing?
Because the body was getting in his way. You had to mess up your bookshelf somehow, right? Anyway, but thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his buddy was hiding.
Hold it!
Why do you think that the killer didn't notice the bloody letters?
Ah, the buddy was covering quite well, wouldn't you say? That's how he missed it. But judging by what I've seen, it doesn't take much of your detective to miss something.
Hey! Who do you think you are? You know nothing about me, pal.
There's a lot a person can understand about another from first impressions alone.
I can't say I disagree with him on that point.
Why don't you say something, sir? No, not you too, Mr. Edgeworth. No.
Despite his lack of attention to detail, I don't believe the detective to be the culprit. Nobody could overlook these bloody letters, and I can prove it with evidence.
I couldn't ask for a better setup, thumbs up, for the game finishing Spike. And it will be his final words that you will be brought to justice. Let's see if I have proof that he couldn't ignore the letters. One of the files written upon in blood was stolen by the culprit. Bullet went clean through the victim's abdomen. Body was found at 2:05. Issued to the victim and believed to be a murder weapon, only 1 shot fired. Well, yeah, Gumshoe didn't know about the safe, so why was the fingerprint there? So, where would it be? That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of a bookshelf. No, wait. You messed up the files, make it look like you committed theft instead. Wait. No, but the files were already mixed up before the shooting. And the file was already missing after he wrote the letter. So if he stole the missing file, he would have noticed the message. Thanks to the body was not in a position where the bloody letter would be hidden. Let me check this. Just want to make sure. Oh no. Okay, I'm gonna try this.
Objection!
No, it's not it.
Mr. Portsman, there is a large flaw in your logic.
Really? I think it holds up rather well, actually. What do you think is wrong with it?
Nothing. Let's move on.
This isn't like you at all, sir. Concentrate.
That was careless of me. Can't afford to do that or the truth will slowly slip away. Remain calm, Miles. It's the only way.
Okay, I'm gonna try this.
Are you saying that those letters were intended for you?
Yep, Jin was an outstanding detective. I would expect no less from my former partner, thumbs up.
Looks like Mr. Portsman still doesn't understand. He has yet to figure out the true meaning behind the bloody letters.
What are you sputtering over there? Can't you just admit my logic is perfectly sound?
Actually, there's a gigantic flaw in his logic. A gap so wide that even the good detective can spot it. Now to clue Mr. Portsman by presenting him with some evidence.
Alright, maybe it's the last one. Like, since I know this case well, I'm kind of, final word brought to justice. There's a book missing. The word is not complete.
Objection!
No? I'm trying to see how to present it well. The safe? No, that doesn't make sense here. With the statement I'm on right now, and then there's the bloody letters in the body. Okay, let me check here. I probably need to, okay. So, I'm gonna do... Okay.
Objection!
Okay, I was on that. Okay, good.
Perhaps you're not aware, Mr. Portsman, but there is a serious flaw in your logic.
Hey, bring a bit of the courtroom into this, I see. No problem. I'm game. Thumbs up.
I can't help but find it odd.
Excuse me?
Odd that a fellow prosecutor would be brought down by the power of his own office.
What are you talking about? Oh, you're joking. I get it.
If you have the time to laugh, then you have time to take another, closer look at this. Do you still not see? If not, may I direct your attention to the missing file?
What? That's impossible.
What? What's impossible, Mr. Portsman?
Nothing?
The files on that shelf are all about a certain case. When the killer went to take the file after murdering your partner, I highly doubt they could have missed the bloody letters written on the spines.
Objection!
It's possible that they could have taken the files before committing the murder.
I think it's pretty obvious that the file was stolen after it was written on. The missing letters in the detective's name where the file should be is proof.
Yeah, I mean the S is gone and there's only half of an H.
If Detective Gumshoe really was the culprit of this case, I highly doubt that even he would overlook his own name written in blood on all the files. Especially as a detective who can't stand the sight of blood.
Yes! Not bad.
Which means, what exactly? What does that make this dying message?
It makes it the work of a criminal intent of tampering with the crime scene. ...
Oh, that's so low, I can't believe a criminal tried to pin this whole thing on me, sir! I'm gonna get him, sir. You'll see. I'm gonna have them under arrest in no time!
Well, Mr. Portman?
Brilliant. Absolutely splendid. Logic deserving of Olympic gold. Thumbs up.
I appreciate the praise, but it doesn't change the fact that your reasoning is flawed.
Meh, you win some and you lose some. That's how life goes.
Glad everyone's so cheery, even though I feel more dead than alive.
Ah, but you know, it really is a shame.
I really didn't want to have to bring this up, however. What is it this time? Are you still after me, pal?
Humor me for a second. Who has the key to this office?
That would be me. But Mr. Edgeworth just proved that I'm innocent, pal.
Shirt on? Shirt off. Shirt on? That's absolutely right. And I acknowledge your innocence.
Then what do I sense that you still have something to say?
Off, on, off, on, off, on. Well, I was thinking, did you know there's one other person with a key to this office?
One other person?
Off, spins, jacket on his hand. Hey, you there!
Yes, sir. What is it, sir?
Would you kindly fetch and escort that lovely young lady here for me?
Huh. Sir.
A lady?
The girl is a member of this building's security. Think of her as a material witness.
Security? Did you just say security? No! Stop it, pal! Don't!
What's wrong with him all of a sudden?
There it is. Now we have Maggie Bird. I believe she needs no introduction. I have called upon Miss Maggie Bird, a member of security. She's wearing a Blue Badger t-shirt. She has feathers stuck on her jacket, like on her vest. And she looks ashamed of herself. Detective Gumshoe, sir!
Maggie!
Miss Bird is the security guard on watch tonight.
I see. And your point is?
My point is that she could very well have used it. And by it, I mean the master key, which can open all the office doors in this building.
Whoa, what?
If you are not the guilty party, Detective Gumshoe, then the only other person with access to this room is Miss Bird. How dare you! I would never sneak into someone's room!
That's right, I refuse to believe that Maggie's the culprit, pal. No wait, it was me. That's right, I did it.
Can we take that as a confession, Detective?
Well, it wasn't really me, but it definitely wasn't Maggie, pal. So yeah, it was me. If it was, you have no problem with that, right?
Please refrain from flying off the handle, Detective. There's no need for such theatrics.
Shirt on? Listen to your boss, Detective. He understands what I'm saying here. Off. On. Off. That girl is the only one who could have committed a crime, and for one simple reason. On, off. On. Reason for suspicion. It's pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key. Off. I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door, on, off. On, off, off. On. Then that leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect. Off. On top of which, she knows our good detective, doesn't she? On, off. On. Taking it all that more probable, making it all that more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message.
So you're saying she used the master key?
Master key data jotted down in my organizer. Incredibly incriminating evidence, wouldn't you say?
That's what you claimed about the evidence earlier as well.
That was then, and this is now. The flow of a good match always changed during a rally. It's all about your reflexes and reaction time, especially for an athlete like me.
I wonder if there was anyone else other than Miss Bird who could have used the master key. It seems that the only way to get Mr. Portsman to give me more details is to press him.
Rebuttal. Reason for suspicion. It's pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key.
Hold it!
Are you sure Miss Bird is the only member of security who could have used the master key?
There's only one person on staff at this time of night, and tonight, she's it. On, off. On. Isn't that right, Miss Bird?
That's, true, but I wasn't able to use the master key at the time of the crime, sir.
Wasn't able to? What's that supposed to mean?
Off. Yes, moving on. I'd hate to get sidetracked by something unrelated. On, off.
What do you mean unrelated? I want to hear what she has to say, pal.
On. But you can't really just trust her not to tell lies. Plus, I hate wasting time.
Should I hear Miss Bird's out? Ask for more details. Not so fast. I too am interested in hearing what Miss Bird has to say.
Didn't I just say it would be a waste of time? We don't need to hear her lies.
I'll be the judge of that. Miss Bird, if you please.
I discovered that the master key was missing at around 1 a.m., sir.
What do you mean by missing?
As in, it wasn't anywhere in the security booth, sir. The killer must have stolen it.
Mr. Portsman, I believe this to be an important piece of testimony, don't you?
Off. I can't believe that someone like you would be taken by such words. On, off, on, off.
I'm not lying, sir.
Objection!
On. If that's the case, then I'd like to know why you have the master key now.
I don't quite know. I just reappeared all of a sudden, sir.
Ah, likely story. And where is your proof that the key was stolen to begin with? Off. And back in his hand. I bet he just forgot where you put it and then found it again.
I never lose things. I can practically guarantee that. With me, if something disappears, it's usually because someone stole it.
Yeah, pal, trust me, you don't want to test just how bad our luck is.
Unfortunately, I can't deem this piece of testimony as conclusive.
Glad you agree, Mr. Edgeworth. Thumbs up.
But, you still haven't established Maggie's motive for breaking into Mr. Edgeworth's office.
Her motive? Didn't we already establish that it was theft? Shirt on. Off. I mean, the culprit really went through the bookshelves and at least tried the safe. On, off. How does he know about the safe? Oh yeah, he's a prosecutor. But she doesn't know about the safe.
It is as Mr. Portsman says, Detective. I can't ignore the fact that all the evidence points towards a motive of theft. But I'm done taking blows. It's time to counterattack with a few facts of my own.
Her intent from the messed up shelves to the wiped down safe, I'd say thievery. On, off, on, off. Present secret safe.
Objection!
Thank you. Wiggling his finger.
Do you wish to continue insisting that Miss Bird was set on stealing something?
Why not? It's the truth after all. Shirt off. On his hand. It was also by your logic that we came to the whole thievery conclusion anyway.
That may be, but you must also be aware of the fact that the safe is a secret safe. The existence of which is only privy to prosecutor.
Oh!
I find it a little hard to believe that a hidden safe was a part of a cunning plan.
But, thumbs up. But she could have found it by accident while she was turning everything else upside down.
I highly doubt that. I would say the culprit knew exactly what they were looking for. After all, only the bookshelf and the safe were targeted.
Biting his metal.
Yeah! I didn't know about that safe, pal. Even me. And that means there's no way Maggie could have known about it either.
Then are you proposing that the killer is a prosecutor?
Interesting conclusion. That's definitely looking more and more probable.
Biting his metal.
What's wrong, prosecutor? Do you have a different suspect in mind now?
Curses, why? What made you...
What's with the angry face all of a sudden?
It's all my fault.
What do you mean?
It's Jim. He knew about the existence of the secret safes.
What did you just say?
We were partners, like inseparable conjoined twins. That's why I told him. I filled him in on the secret safes. Thumbs up.
Then that means...
Yeah, I know. I had only just told him to. Obviously, it was wrong of me to tell him. I still can't quite believe it, but the thief who broke into your room was probably Jim.
Now he's claiming that the victim was the thief.
And you were simply trying to stop him, weren't you? Miss Maggie Bird, thumbs up. Excuse me? ... I mean, you are a security guard, right? That's your job. But killing is going a bit too far, even if you're a risky profession.
What the? You're still accusing Maggie of the murder?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, she had stumbled upon Jin, who had probably drawn his gun. I get it. It was self-defense, wasn't it? No! I couldn't. I could never do something like that. Not even as a security guard, sir.
Plus, even if he was the thief, he wouldn't have a key to his office.
Which is precisely why you had to steal it, when you say, thumbs up. It was Jim who stole the master key.
Ah!
Pretty impossible for a supposedly stolen key to be here with us, unless... Well, unless you retrieved it from Jim after you killed him.
Mr. Portsman, are you honestly accusing your own partner of being a thief?
Well, I don't want to admit it, but it's the only way for everything else to make sense, or thumbs up.
Has he no honor?
Shirt on. Now then, I think we're done here. The investigation waits for no man. Shirts off, on. Off, on, off, on. Would you people be so kind to see yourselves out?
Yeah, you can't kick us out. This is Mr. Edgeworth's office.
Off. And. Ah, but I'm the one who's been assigned to this case. You're all suspect to varying degrees and therefore ineligible to run this show. Thumbs up. Edgeworth ...
Listen, pal, how many times do I have to say this? Maggie can't be the culprit.
Detective Gumshoe, calm yourself.
But, sir...
We have no choice but to accommodate his request. For now.
Haha, thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. At least one of you understands. Thumbs up. Now then, if you could remove yourself from my crime scene, I would be most grateful.
Mark my words, Mr. Portsman. We will meet again.
If that's a formal request from the legendary prosecutor himself, then I suppose so. Shirt on? Now, don't disappoint me, you hear? To be continued. I'm gonna take a sip. Do you want to save? Yes, of course we're gonna save. It's only just intermission to refill my parched throat. So, how is everyone doing? Are you coping with the heat? I'm doing well, but I'm sweating faster. I feel the urge of taking my shirt off, but I will not do it. Alright, let's continue outside. March 14, 4:18 a.m. Prosecutors building 12th floor hallway.
What is with that prosecutor? I can't believe how rude he was. It was unbelievable.
Please maintain your professionalism, detective.
I've got to find some real solid evidence proving Maggie's innocence. You'll see, sir.
But we've been... Sorry. But we've been kicked out of the crime scene, sir!
True. So then what now?
Looks like my life's fallen into yet another gigantic ditch.
Do not despair, Miss Bird. We can overcome this as well. There are many other places and things we should be looking into anyway.
Huh? Really, sir?
For example, this hallway. The linchpin of this argument against Miss Bird is related to the master key. In that case, this hallway is the perfect place to look for more information. Regarding the mystery surrounding my door.
Begin investigation. Prosecutor building, 12th floor, hallway. Alright, I can walk. There's a seat. I won't rest until it's suspected every suspicious looking cranny. There's some book under this seat. It's OH with the S and the other half of the H. It's written in blood, and the book has been dried.
Isn't this that missing Zero Siri file, sir?
No doubt about it. The bloody letters marks it clear as day. There seems to be a few pages missing. Our thief took only what was necessary and left the rest behind.
So what are these Zero files about? I guess we have something worth stealing in them, huh?
Not particularly. It's just a collection of court cases files. However, the cases within these files are not mine.
Huh?
They belong to the High Prosecutor that used to occupy my current office. I have my reasons, but let's just say I was charged with keeping them as they were.
Then that means the thief must also wanted the files for a specific reason, right?
It would seem so. Only the pages related to that case from 10 years ago are missing.
I wonder why anyone would care about such an old case.
Is there more?
A well-crafted, high-quality sofa for visitors. The stitching is excellent.
Talk about a luxury waiting area. These babies are so great for napping, you know. You would sleep even out there, detective.
You would sleep even out here, detective? In a hallway?
Whatever I do, I always wind up dreaming about giving testimony up on the stand. But it always ends up the same way. Me getting trounced by a lawyer. Isn't that awful?
Maybe I should give it a try sometimes to envision myself winning, naturally.
Is there anything else? Yeah, the seat. Okay, I'll come back here. I won't rest until expected every blah blah blah.
1202. These 4 numbers on the number plate alone proclaim this to be my office.
Whoops! Hey, those number plates slides right out, sir.
Yeah, they have to be able to take the plates off when a room comes vacant, you know. Although, the idea that it can be so easily removed is kind of...
Let's check the door.
I don't see any signs of forced entry.
And according to the guard, no signs that the lock was picked either, sir.
Meaning that the door really was opened with a key. Did you happen to ask if any prints were lifted from the doorknob?
Apparently the doorknob's is as clean as a whistle. Wipe, do you think?
Whoever this thief is, they did a good job of not leaving any clues behind. A minimalist yet classy door made of top quality wood. It's sturdily made, making it near impossible to break in by force.
It's almost majestic, sir. I wish I could be as stately as this door.
Only Gumshoe would praise a door as something greater than himself. Being a detective has its own rewards and a certain virtuous value, I think. If you live up to your full potential, that's a poignant trait that anyone can admire.
I see. So you're saying, sir, that me being me is the best thing I can do for everyone?
Dot dot dot.
Right.
That long pause wasn't exactly reassuring, sir.
Okay, let's go back. I cannot go down. There's a basketball here. Let me talk to Maggie Bird.
I was wondering if I may speak with you for a bit concerning this case.
I've always been a big fan of this courtroom, but this is like a dream! A dream when I'm being cross-examined by D. Miles Edgeworth! She has starry eyes.
I can't let this chance pass me by. I must remember to ask her about the master key. I should jog her memory by showing my notes to her through the present button.
The victim?
Have you ever met the victim before?
Well, I've seen him in a couple of times before when I had to go to Mr. Portsman's office. Mr. Fate was always playing basketball with Mr. Portsman, sir.
That sounds like fun. Just once. I would have loved to play with them.
It sounds fun, but the only person ever taking a shot was Mr. Portsman. All Mr. Fate ever did was pass him the ball, sir.
On second thought, I don't think I would have it fit in all that well with... Okay. On second thought, I don't think I would have fit in that all that well with them.
Maggie Bird?
Miss Maggie Bird, correct? I take it that you are an acquaintance of a detective?
She was under my supervision back when she was still on the force, sir. One day, she got caught up in a murder and things started going downhill, so she quit.
But I owe a lot to Detective Gumshoe for introducing me to my current employer. Or so I thought until a few hours ago, right before I was about to clock out for the night.
You got caught up in this whirlwind of a case, correct?
Don't worry, my whole life has been nothing but a whirlwind of bad luck and failures. Since I was 6 months old, when I fell from the 9th floor of my apartment building, I've been hit by all sorts of vehicles, gotten sick from all sorts of foods, failed at almost every test I've taken, experienced almost every kind of disaster, and now I even managed to be named a criminal just when I've become a security guard.
That's a lot to go through in one lifetime.
I know! And just when I thought I had finally found my happiness, I wind up getting you and Detective Gumshoe involved in my bad luck.
You don't need to worry about me, Miss Bird. Nor do you need to worry about yourself. I will solve this case and prove your innocence. All I ask in return is for your cooperation.
Yes, sir, Mr. Edgeworth, you can count on me! I'll do all I can to help. Oh. Alright, so let's go to the organizer. Oh no, wait, I need to present first, right? I need to present. Let's see about this master key.
So, when did you discover that the master key was missing?
By the time I realized it, I think it was around 1 a.m., sir. And I noticed it was back at around 2:30 a.m. It was just sitting there on the ledge where the security room's reception's window is. But I'm sure that's between those two times it was not just gone, but stolen, sir. The key has been stolen from 1 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. in the logic box.
Why is such an important key stored in such an insecure place?
It's not like that, sir. We always keep the key further inside the room, away from the window.
Always, you say? Except for this time, correct?
Well, I admit I was a bit careless, but I had my reasons. I left it out because I was sort of using it at the time. It was after I used it that I left it sitting out on the ledge.
She used the master key?
Okay, so now we can... Oh, there's another statement that says use the master key.
What do you mean by you used the master key?
Oh, I had to use it to open the door for these prosecutors who had forgotten his key. Put our hat on and salute. I mean, it's my job as a security guard, right?
What is it?
That's right! I just remembered! The prosecutor who forgot his key! It was Mr. Portsman, sir!
What? Please tell me more, Miss Bird. Quickly!
It was around 12 a.m. Mr. Portsman had forgotten his office key, so he came down to security, sir.
And that's when you loaned the master key to him.
No way! It's against the regulation to loan the master key out to anyone. I walked with Mr. Portsman to his office and opened the door for him personally, sir.
I see.
And then, what happened after that?
Well, he called for me to come close up his office as he was leaving to go home. That was around 1:30 a.m., I think.
So in summary, for the sake of one forgetful prosecutor, you used the master key twice tonight.
This key was used to unlock and lock Portsman's office at 12 and at 1:30 a.m. in the logic box. Sorry, I need to adjust my seat.
Talk about suspicious.
I doubt you can say that. You've never left your keys at home, detective.
I think this calls.
I think this calls for a thorough examination of Mr. Portsman's door.
Okay, let's go back. There's a basketball on the floor. Oh, Winston Payne is here. I don't know why.
It looks like you're in quite the pinch, Mr. Edgeworth.
To be sure, a murder within the walls of the prosecutor's office is no trifling matter. We must find, apprehend, and punish the killer accordingly post-haste.
Sounds like a messy case you've got on your hands. If you ever feel lost or need some advice, my door is always open.
How gracious. I will keep your offer in mind. Who is this guy again?
So there's a security guard here.
Is everything alright?
Yes, sir. If you must know, I weighed myself this morning and I'm finally at 154 pounds.
Congratulations, but I was asking about this hallway in this room.
Oh, everything's okay, sir.
A word of advice, stay focused, or you may start to lose even more weight.
Okay, let's check the basketball.
What is the basketball doing here?
Oh, that's Mr. Portsman's prized possession, sir. I heard he also plays soccer, dodgeball, and even tennis.
And not a single one of those sports is suitable to be played in the hallway.
So let's check Portsman's door.
I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking cranny.
This is 12.
Room 1203. I take it that is Mr. Portsman's office.
Yeah, you can mistake it because of that basketball hoop, sir. Oh, that reminds me. Mr. Portsman actually wanted room 1202 really badly. But since you were already occupying it, Mr. Edgeworth, we put him next door, sir.
So why was Mr. Portsman so particular about getting room 1202?
I'm not sure, but I bet it's because of something like this birthday is December the 2nd.
Yep, that's gotta be it. I can't think of another reason why.
I can think of at least 3. Bah! Why am I even wasting time thinking about this? The door is locked tight.
I bet the old credit card trick wouldn't work here, huh, Mr. Edgeworth?
This is the office of a high prosecutor, detective. This door would be pretty ineffective if the average cat burglar could get through them.
Aha! So I guess only a great cat burglar could get in. That must be who our culprit is.
Might I advise you to return that conclusion to whatever pawn shop you bought it from?
And there's a basketball hoop.
Oh, this is Mr. Portsman's personal basketball hoop.
I can't believe he put something like this in this hallway of a prosecutor's office.
But you know, it's actually pretty useful, sir. I haven't gotten lost trying to get to your office since it's been here.
How long have I had the same office and yet you still manage to get lost?
Okay, so let's go back. Can I look at the...
What is a basketball hoop doing here?
Hey, didn't this used to be just outside next to the building a long time ago?
So when and why was it moved indoors?
I don't remember exactly, but I saw one of the officers drag it up here recently.
Drag it?
I heard that it wouldn't fit in the elevator, so the poor guy had to bring it himself.
All the way up to the 12th floor?
Okay, let me check the floor. I want to see drag marks. Oh, wait, what's... Oh, no. Is that... Oh, okay, it was something on my screen. Like some sort of bubble. I'm gonna use my logic. I got 4 of them. The master key was stolen and the master key was used. Yep.
Miss Bird, I'm afraid there's a flaw in your story.
What? No way, pal! I mean, sir!
You said that you locked up Mr. Portsman's office at around 1:30 a.m., correct? However, the master key has already been stolen at that time.
Wow! Nothing gets by you, Mr. Edgeworth! You saw that contradiction like a pro! I had totally forgot all about that, but thanks to you I remember it now. You're right! It was around that very time that I realized the master key was missing.
And?
Well, I'm a security guard, sir. I couldn't just admit to losing the master key, could I? So I pretended to lock up his room, sir.
You pretended?
Yeah, I used my house key and made it look like I was locking up, sir.
So in actuality, you never did relock the door then?
Well, I thought that maybe I could go lock it after I found the key. Come to think of it, I guess the door still hasn't been locked properly.
Mr. Portsman's office, data jotted down in my organizer. But I'm pretty sure that the door is locked. So this is the contradiction. I'm gonna deduce. I'm gonna use Mr. Portsman's office. There you go.
There's a contradiction here between reality and the evidence. If what Miss Bird has said is true, then why is this door locked tight?
Huh? You know you're right.
Miss Bird, are you sure you didn't relock this door?
I am certain of it, sir. And I don't think Mr. Portman noticed it himself that I hadn't. Which means... what, sir?
It either means that it actually does have the key to his office, or that the door Miss Bird opened wasn't this one at all, but a completely different one.
She opened a different door? How can you prove that?
There's an easy way to find out. All we need to do is... we need to examine these.
Prints on the master key, prints on the doorknob, prints on the number plate. I'm gonna say prints on the doorknob.
The prints on the doorknob will tell us everything.
Hey, you! Yeah, you, pal! Do us a favor and see what you can lift from this, okay? So, what did you find out?
There's no need to be such belligerent nostril flaring, detective.
Sir, I have found only Mr. Portsman's and Mr. Fate's prints on this doorknob.
So only 2 people's prints were found on this, huh? That's pretty decisive.
Huh? I'm lost, sir.
Taking logically, a certain other person's print should be on this knob as well. Now then, whose print should also be on this doorknob? Maggie Bird.
Take that!
Don't you find it odd that the prints of the person who unlocked this door are absent?
You mean?
Yes, the door that Miss Bird opened could not have been this one, but a different one.
Mr. Portsman's office data updated in my organizer.
What have we here?
On the floor. Yeah. Now I can expect the floor. I won't rest until I blah blah blah. There's a mark on the carpet where the basketball hoop used to be. This shows that it was moved.
What's this?
What are you looking at, sir? Oh, hey, how about a game?
That's okay, detective. I just found the position of this hoop to be a little off.
Hey, you're right, sir. I guess it shifted when someone made a seriously sweep slam dunk.
The positioning of the hoop is definitely unnatural. I better take note of this.
Basketball hoop. Data jotted down in my organizer. There's the ball here.
Is this basketball property of Mr. Portsman?
Yes, sir. He's already ready for a match. Basketball, soccer, dodgeball, tennis. It doesn't matter what sport it is, he's game. Although I think it'd be a little hard to play tennis with this ball.
This isn't the point you should be focusing on, detective.
You're right, sir. Now I know what I should be focusing on. Bad, Mr. Portsman. Someone should teach him to clean his toys up after he's done playing.
I think we reached the end of this conversation. A minimalist yet classy door made of top quality wood.
Okay, already read that. Wait. Was this about Mr. Payne?
Even Mr. Portsman seems dignified just because he works behind one of these.
Nonsense, a man doesn't become more or less dignified because of where he works.
Well, his team seems more dignified than Mr. Payne.
Mr. Payne? I suppose custodial work can also be dignified.
Oh, there's a memo.
What is this?
I noticed a memo underneath the door.
Looks like a scrap of paper. I'll get it, sir. Let's see. Oh, there's something written on it.
I brought the 3 pieces of evidence just like we talked about on the phone, but it looks like you're out. Guess I'll catch you up later. Signed, Buddy.
Looks like a note from the victim.
Yeah, and it's for Mr. Portsman.
Note left by victim data jotted down in my organizer. Investigation complete. And I got my life back from my previous mistakes.
Poking around in this hallway has actually paid off quite handsomely.
Huh? How so, sir?
In a variety of different ways, I think it's time we had a little chat with the real culprit of this case.
You know who the killer is? Wow, Mr. Edgeworth!
As long as my logic is sound, then yes. The mastermind behind this murder is none other than Mr. Portsman.
What? Mr. Portsman? I knew it. That's exactly what my logic senses were telling me too. I suspected it was him from the instant you accused Maggie of being the killer, sir.
That is anything but logical. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves. Come what may, it's time to knock on truth's door.
Knock, knock, knocking on the truth's door.
Oh, no, that's not it. March 14, 5:12 a.m., High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202.
Mr. Portsman, I finished processing the bloody letter, sir.
Alright, let me take a gander at it. Pass it here. Take the file, alley-oop, jump it in, looking through the pages. Alright, looking good. You there, take good care of this. I'm gonna pass it on to you.
Whoa!
Okay, so Gumshoe just stomped in, and the file hit his head, again bumped up, and the officer grabbed it on his way before it falls on the floor. And Portsman had his shirt off, hanging out on his left arm. Well, if it isn't Detective Gumshoe.
End of the line for you, Portsman. We've got you now.
Call off your dog, Mr. Edgeworth. Is this some kind of a joke?
It's no joke. We know, Mr. Jacques Portsmouth, that you are the guilty party in this case.
Exclamation mark. You must be pretty upset getting chased out of your own room. I would be mad too. So, I guess you could stay if you promise to stay out of our way.
You intend to hide your crime under the guise of a prosecutor doing his job? I can see right through the unsightly paper-thin mask you wear upon your cowl.
Who would have ever thought it would come to this? Actually, come to think of it, your mentor was Manfred von Garma, right? Exclamation mark. The legendary prosecutor who never lost a single case for 40 long years. Shirt on? But there was always this incessant chatter about forged evidence with that guy. ... Shirt off. Really teaching me what I've got to say on the lookout for false accusation, you know? On, off, on, off.
Are you done trying to play mind games with me because they won't work? The only thing that should be using that mouth of yours for now is explaining yourself. Although that too will only dig your hole deeper. Either way, your game is up.
Shirt on, off, and hand. Well, aren't we full of ourselves, even though you have yet to prove anything? Mr. Portsman's rebuttal. I have no idea what sorts of harebrained idea you have in mind, but there's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Besides, how, may I ask, do you propose I unlock your door and got in here? Thumbs up. Look, I feel bad doing this for you, but I've got work to do, so we're done here.
Sorry, but we are not finished yet.
Boy, you're stubborn. I suppose you're basing your accusation on something?
I'll show you what I'm basing my accusation on. With evidence.
Rebuttal. I have no idea what source of harebrained idea you have in mind, but...
Hold it!
My accusation is an harebrained idea, is it?
You tell me. I'd say it is, after all. There's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit.
Hold it!
Oh? And what, pray tell, kind of evidence are we talking about here?
Jim was my partner, so you can say I had a motive for killing it. So you cannot say I had a motive for killing him.
And? That's it? That's not even an anthill, let alone mountain.
But it's more than enough, wouldn't you agree?
Might I recommend that you review what the word evidence means?
Shirt on? Oh, it doesn't change the fact that the evidence doesn't point out to me as the killer. Shirt off? Besides, how, may I ask, you propose I unlock your door and got in here?
Hold it!
Unfortunately, I believe I have already shown how earlier.
Your speculation mean nothing, and I still insist that I could not gain access to your room.
What should I do now? Should I raise an objection?
Raise an objection.
You claim to have no way to open my door, however, is that really the honest truth?
Alright, I'll humor you. Go ahead, shoot! Thumbs up.
Very well then, I propose that you use this to open my door.
The master key. This can open every office door. It was stolen from the security office.
Take that!
I believe you were able to open my office door with the master key, no less.
Objection!
Wait. Hold on for a second.
I never laid a finger on that key, as you already know. Thumbs up.
Precisely. You were able to open my door without lifting a single finger. Well, maybe you did, but only to direct.
Exclamation mark.
That's right. You use your finger to direct this person to open my door with the key. Maggie Bird.
Take that!
You had asked Miss Bird to open your own office door for you, yes?
Yeah, I kind of forgot my key at home. Happens a bit too often for my taste, you know.
But the room you had Miss Bird open at the time was not your own, was it?
Exclamation mark. What? You have quite the imagination. But why don't we ask the girl herself whose door she opened, shall we? I'm certain that it was Mr. Portsman's door, sir. I checked the number plates to make sure I was opening the right door, sir. See? Miss Bird backs up my story.
Yet, what if you had misled her to fool her into thinking what you wanted?
And how do you suppose I did that?
By switching the number plates on our door, for example.
That's right! They do slide out pretty easily.
Furthermore, you then use one other thing to give a very strong impression. That the door she was opening was yours and not, in fact, mine. What was it that Mr. Portman used to make Miss Bird think it was his room?
The basketball hoop.
Take that!
What? The basketball hoop, sir?
It's quite a peculiar fixture in any hallway, let alone a hallway in this building. Which is why it left an unusually strong impression on you. It's an object perfectly suited to sit just outside the office of a peculiar prosecutor.
Wow! That's very true, sir, because there was a basketball hoop sitting there. I thought the door I was opening had to be Mr. Portman's.
There are signs that the hoop has been moved. To sit in front of my office, to be sure.
I see. So that's how you throw suspicions on people. Thanks for the tip. But I think your conjecture is a little off the racetrack. Thumbs up. Conjecture's rebuttal. Okay, let me adjust. Sorry. Oh. My legs are getting a bit tired. I need to move them a bit. I don't have that problem when I don't have a cam, but here, like... What's this? Oh, Akira's following me on Twitter. Thank you, Akira. Okay. Okay. So I was checking my Twitter at the same time. Basically, ads about the play reading that's gonna happen at 7 Central. Sorry. Conjectures rebuttal. So right now it's gonna be like this. Okay. Now you're just spouting nonsense. Oh! Somebody's subbing. Wait, what's this? What's this? Thank you, Shaster. Shaster's in the house. She's the hype. Shaster, thank you for the resub for a 4th month. How you doing, Shaster? I miss you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for renewing your oath. And thank you for being my mod for all these time, all these months. So yeah, as you can see, I'm doing a little rehearsing because tonight I'm gonna be playing as Lord Darlington in a reading, and I wanted to practice my English accent. And this is why I'm playing. I'm not here for long, but did indeed want to say hello. Thank you very much. Well, thank you very much
for the little drop by, for the little shout out, for the little resub. Glenn told you, yeah, of course he did. He did advertise it a lot on Twitter. Are you gonna be there tonight? We're gonna be fooling around a little bit. It's gonna be a nice stream. So yeah, I wanted to redo chapter 1 at the very least, and it's a quite short chapter. I'm gonna be playing a little bit of. I'll do my best to make it. Thank you very much. Your best is all we ask. Thank you very much, Shay. Love you very much. How was your summer been? Like you've been streaming a lot yourself lately. How's it been? I had the girl open my office door. After that, I was in my room the entire time. You don't have a single reason to suspect me, thumbs up.
So he intends to claim his innocence to the end, does he?
Shirt on. I'm as pure as innocent as my jacket. Jacket on, jacket off, and my Miss Bird is as dirty and guilty as the jacket she wears. On, off. On, off, on, off. My jacket's not dirty, I'll have you know. I just washed it yesterday. Just happened to have some feathers on it because my name is Maggie Bird.
Please calm down, for I intend to show who is the one truly covered in slime here.
I'm clipping a bit, huh? Yeah, there's nothing I can do about... Oh, am I peaking? Is my mic volume a bit too loud? I'll have you know. Oh yeah, it's pretty loud. It's pretty loud. Okay, I'll try to lower the decibel. Let me adjust the. All right. Testing, 1, 2. It's better now. It's better like that. I'll have you know. My name is Maggie Bird. Okay. I'm still in the yellow, but on the lower part of the yellow, not near the I'm not peaking as much. Alright, thank you for telling me, Shay. Because, still peaking, but it's better. Really? So even in the yellow, it's too much? Testing. I'll have you know. Is it better like that? Because I'm not in the yellow at all. I'm not peaking at all. Maybe it's just my voice. But it's not too low, I hope. I think it's because how close you are to the mic. Well, not really. I'm at arm's length of my mic. I stretch my arms, I cannot even touch the mic yet. So it's not like I'm that close. I'm 2 feet away from my mic actually. Just the gain is at the max, and I'm adjusting in my mix board. Yeah, I'm looking at my volumes, the VU bar. That's what I'm checking right now. When you're talking no more, you're fine. Yeah, of course. But when I'm doing, I'm not getting closer to the mic. All right. So thank you, Conjecture's Rebuttal. Now you're just spouting nonsense.
Hold it!
Nonsense, you say?
Jack it off. Yes, because I'm telling the truth here. On off, on off. Yeah, you can hear it. On. And back in his arm. I had the girl open my office door.
Hold it!
Yeah, and of course the game is over me. Yeah, because if I lower that much... Okay. Okay. Is it better like this? I lowered the volume for the... for the game. Alright. Great. Yeah, because of course, yeah, I lowered my mic to be to not peaking, and the game was overpowering me, of course, because my volume used to be balanced, but near peaking. Now I lowered the threshold.
So, using the master key, of course.
Sure, you have a problem with that? That is what the master key is for, right? Thumbs up.
Perhaps we should place it in an elaborate labyrinth or some sort for people like you.
After that, I was in my room the entire time.
Hold it!
And what were you doing in your office?
I was doing my usual training regimen.
Training regiment? Were you going through your law books from start to finish?
Mainly batting practice and some weights. Oh, and I jog when I get the chance. Thumbs up.
Wow, you must be the buffest prosecutor we have.
With the weakest legal muscles, it would seem.
I was doing my usual workout, so... Thumbs up. You don't have a single reason to suspect me.
Hold it!
I think I've given you quite a few reasons, actually.
Objection!
But none of those would stand up on their own.
Objection!
Then what about all of the evidence?
Objection!
It's all circumstantial. No judge would convict on such flimsy evidence.
He seems to be trembling a little. One more little push. All I have to do is find the flaw in his testimony.
Now you're just spouting nonsense. I had the girl open my office door. After that, I was in my room the entire time. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't, because we found a memo. Because the note left by the victim, he passed by his office and he wasn't there.
Objection!
There you go. Wagging his finger.
That was a lie.
What are you talking about? How was that a lie?
This is a note that the victim left for you, Mr. Portsman.
A note?
It was left under your door, or did you not notice? And right here it says, "But you're out." ... You were not in your room when the victim came to call on you. So then, where were you and what were you doing?
Ah!
Shall I explain it in full detail for you? You were busy snooping around in my room, the very room you had Miss Bird open for you.
Objection!
That's just nonsense. You have no evidence that I made the girl open your door for me.
Oh, but I do. I have very decisive evidence.
No way!
This is proof positive that you had Miss Bird open the door for you.
Which one? Which one? Ah, Miss Bird says she unlocked this door, but her prints were not found on the doorknob of Mr. Portsman's office.
Take that!
I had your door dusted for prints.
My door? Huh, what for? Come on, I bet you didn't find anything. Thumbs up. You sure are good at wasting time.
You're right. I didn't find anything, and definitely not Miss Bird's fingerprints.
Her prints? Why would they have to do with anything?
Let's put it in this way. If she really was the one who opened your door, then her prints should naturally be on the doorknob she touched.
Ah!
Furthermore, all of the prints on my office door's knob have been wiped cleaned off. I can only assume it's because Miss Bird's fingerprints were on it. Don't you think it's time you gave up your charade? We know you stole into my office with the intent of stealing something from me. And Detective Fate found you out. Possibly because he heard sound coming from a room whose occupant was on leave. Mr. Portsman, you killed Mr. Fate to silence him. And I have the misfortune to return when I did. You had to threaten me as you escaped. As I said when you had the gun to my back, no one gets away with committing murder in my office.
Dot dot dot. Dot dot dot.
And just what's so funny, pal?
Jacking on? Well, that look of stiff seriousness on the face of this office's finest prosecutor, as he makes a huge mistake in accusing me and simply too much to bear. Check it off, back in his hand. There's nothing else like it in the world, thumbs up. What?
Mr. Edgeworth just explained it all and even backed it up. You're the murderer. Stop trying to be slippery and just admit to the crime already.
And as I said, jacking off, it's all so circumstantial, so full of conjecture. On off, on off. You say you checked my doorknob for prints? Well, I can readily confess that I had wiped that knob down well.
Huh?
I'm a little obsessive compulsive, you see. I didn't want to touch a doorknob that you had touched, which is why I wiped the knob down as soon as I could after you opened the door. Check it off. After that, it makes perfect sense that Ollie Jim's and my own prints would be on there.
You made that up just now, didn't you?
Furthermore, as for the note Jim left for me, do you know exactly when that was? For all we know, it could be left there before I arrive at the office. On. Jack it off. Like early evening, for example. Jack it on. Are you saying you failed to notice a note in your doorway? Hey, even geniuses fail at times. Off. On. I was probably too preoccupied by work-related matters, although that's no excuse.
No, that's just a flat-out lie. There's no way you didn't notice a note that size.
Off. Ah, but you can't prove that, can you? On. That's where dot dot dot.
Say something, Mr. Edgeworth. Back me up there, sir.
Ugh. Portsman makes a good point. I can't prove they didn't simply overlook it.
Back to his hand. Besides, I have an airtight alibi.
Airtight, you say?
I only realized that I had one just now as we were talking. I guess it would have been better for all of us if I had told you sooner. Yeah, he's a piece of shit. Portsman's alibi. UGLY. You ugly. He's not ugly, but he doesn't have an alibi. Okay, I need to unstretch my leg. If memory serve, you came back to this office at around 2 a.m., correct? And it was then that you had that unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. But at exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs. Ask around. I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's a perfect alibi.
Do you really think it's that perfect?
Like I said, I don't care. Ask around all you like. You'll see for yourself.
Detective Gumshoe.
Sir, yes, sir. I'll go check out his alibi, sir. Be right back. Gumshoe, away! Okay, I'm back, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. I think we're in trouble. It's just like Mr. Portsman said. The guys down in criminal affairs said they saw him at around 2 a.m.
You see? Thumbs up. Dot dot dot.
All of the evidence points to him being the culprit. So there must be a contradictory point in his alibi somewhere.
Portsman's alibi. If memory serves, you came back to this office at around 2 a.m., correct?
Hold it!
You are correct. It was around 2 a.m.
Are you sure? It's really important to me that you're spot on with the time.
I remember checking my watch then. I make no mistake. It was 2.
Oh, giving testimony like a pro. Okay, so you came back to your office at 2. Thumbs up. And it was then that you had that unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit.
Hold it!
It is as you say, however.
Yes, however, you are the only one who claims to have bumped into the culprit. Jack it on. So tell me, did you see the person's face? Was it me who you saw?
It was pitch black, so I couldn't actually see.
Objection!
Oh, come now. I'm sure you saw something. Try a little harder, why don't you?
I'm beginning to feel like I'm the one being interrogated here.
Jack it off. Oh well, doesn't matter if you remember it or not. On, off, hand. It only matters that it only matters that you ran into the culprit. But exactly that time I was down in criminal affairs.
Hold it!
So you paid the Criminal Affairs Department a visit.
Yep, thumbs up. Right after I left the prosecutor's building, I headed straight for the precinct. Ask around, I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's a perfect alibi.
Hold it!
Well, we did go and ask around to confirm your testimony.
And it was just as I said, right?
Yes, sir. A number of detectives said they saw you at around that time.
See? I have the perfect alibi. That's the ace I had up my sleeve.
Ugh! Impossible! He actually does have the perfect alibi.
What's wrong? Why the sudden sullen look on your face? Thumbs up. Sudden sullen look on your face.
Can't you say anything back, Mr. Edgeworth?
I think we've reached the end of the line. It's time to get off this crazy train. You there.
Sir.
Please escort the young lady out. But remember, be gentle.
Maggie! Detective Gumshoe!
Is there nothing I can do? There must be a way to turn this situation around. If I only had a clue, did I miss something that can be help cast doubt on... Did I miss something that can help be cast doubt on his alibi? Mr. Portsman's alibi. The intruder I meant could not have been Portsman. In the logic box. I need to calmly think this through one more time and with logic.
Okay, so now I'm gonna use the rest of my... the files were in disarray. I found another handgun. So, the culprit rearranged my files twice. Once before and once after the murder. Other than the victim's gun, could there be another gun in play? Okay, so I want to say that the other handgun proved that it was not the man I met and shot the bullet to the frame was not Portsman. I'm gonna try that. Yes.
There were 2 bullets left at the scene of the crime. One that robbed Mr. Fates of his life, and one that nearly robbed me of my jacket. However, the murder weapon only shows signs of being fired once, meaning that it is entirely possible that a second gun was used in my office tonight. But seeing as how the killer had to steal Mr. Fate's gun, I doubt the killer has another gun up their sleeve. Therefore, the second gun could have been the property of an entirely different person, which could mean that there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight.
Maybe the victim is Killer Warren, the only visitor in my office tonight in the logic box. And the files in disarray with the other visitor. So one, the one we met came to steal something, and
supposing there was yet another visitor tonight, that would also resolve the issue of why my shelves were upended twice. We know that the shelves were disturbed once before and once after the murder, so it shouldn't be much of a stretch to think that it was the work of 2 different people. Once by the person who stole the victim's gun and then killed him with it, and once again after the murder by our second culprit, who was the owner of the second gun. we suppose that the second culprit's gun was the one that was pointing at my back,
Objection!
Mr. Portsman, it seems that I need to amend my assumption regarding this case.
Great! Thumbs up! So you finally come to your senses. Mr. Edgeworth!
Sir, what are you saying?
This has been a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I had assumed that the person I ran into was the killer, but that may not be the case.
What do you mean?
The person I ran into was just your average thief.
A thief? But sir, doesn't that cause some sort of contradiction in the facts?
Not at all. It simply means that the killer was someone else. And it means that in actuality, two culprits stole into my office tonight.
What do you mean, two?
It explains both why my shelves were disturbed twice and how there were two guns. Mr. Portsman tricked Miss Burrs and gained entry to my office.
Objection!
Now, you're just leading the argument. You still don't have any actual proof, you know.
If you could please go along with my hypothetical scenario for now, Mr. Portsman. In the end, if you really are innocent, you should have nothing to worry about.
Grr.
Now then, returning to my scenario, Mr. Portsman was out to steal something from me, which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves. This is the first time.
So then, this would be when the files were put back in the wrong order, right?
Correct. And then, just when he was about to look somewhere else, who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Fate?
But why did Mr. Fate come into your room, sir?
He probably had business with Mr. Portsman, which is why he was in the area. But that's when he noticed sounds coming from my office, would be my guess.
Oh, because you were supposed to be away, right?
And he must have thought it was odd, so he came into this office to check it out.
Correct. And as a detective, that was the right thing to do.
But when he came in, he found his own partner standing there.
Because it was Mr. Portsman, Mr. Fate probably let his guard down. But Mr. Portsman was not so merciful as to let him leave alive. He waited for a chance and stole Mr. Fate's gun from him, and then he killed him. He silenced Mr. Fate for catching him in the act of stealing.
He's biting his metal.
This was the moment in which the first shot was fired, the one that landed in my files. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped the gun down and left his behind as he made his exit. Could afford to do that because he had also left a fake dying message behind.
You're such a complicated troublemaker, you know that?
Well, if things were as simple as that, then all would be solved. However, there was yet another visitor in my room, and this is where it gets complicated.
There was another.
Visitor, sir?
Yes, and this other person's objective was also to steal something from me. Now then, even after Mr. Portsman's left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor has no way of knowing that, and so they stole the master key from the security guard's room, and then entered my room and searched through my shelves. This was the second time they were disturbed, and it seems the thief found their prize.
The stolen zero file, right, sir?
Correct. Only just as the thief was about to leave with the file, I appeared. The thief then threatened me with their own gun and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during that brief encounter.
So the shells became messed up twice, and the two bullets? It was all because two different people were doing those things at two different times.
Precisely. So, now do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met was just a thief, and was not in fact Mr. Fate's killer. Your alibi for the time frame in which I ran into the other person is now irrelevant. Because we now know that the murder took place during the first culprit's visit.
What's so funny, pal?
Thumbs up. As absolutely splendid. Your scenario explained everything.
Of course it does. It's Mr. Edgeworth after all.
But you know, it still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial. Exclamation mark. Supposing if, and that's a big if, your theory is right. Jacking on? It would indeed render my alibi, which has withstood scrutiny, mind you, irrelevant. Jack it off. On, off. On, off. On, off. On, off. Back on. But there is still one defining point of your argument for which you have no evidence. Back in his left hand. Your supposition that I was the first visitor.
Mr. Edgeworth, you can't let him get away with that, sir.
But he has a point. I have absolutely no proof at this point.
Don't say that, sir.
I don't believe this. Don't worry, Maggie. I'll do something if I must.
You know something? I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. If the person you met really was a plain old thief, then why is that person not your main suspect? That is, if your theory is correct. Portsman Alibi Part 2. That thief you ran into should be your real suspect, when you say. We should be out there looking for that thief right now. They might still be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but as I already said, I was training in my room. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at Criminal Affairs. So I can't be expected to know what happened around here after I left.
So you think we should be out there looking for the thief?
Of course! Now isn't the time to be wasting time on a dead-end discussion.
I don't think it's at all dead-ending. I find your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we?
Batting his metal.
I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. I just have to find a way to prove it.
Sportsman Alibi Part 2. That thief you ran into should be your real suspect, when you say.
Hold it!
Actually, no, I wouldn't.
Why not?
That's elementary. The dying message, of course. Mr. Fate's killer very clearly left those letters on the spines of those files. And it was after they were on there that the thief stole one of them.
You mean the zero files, right?
And that's how we also know the letters themselves were set up and not from Mr. Fate. If the thief was the killer, do you think they would try to undermine themselves?
Maybe the killer just didn't think of that either. Yeah, that must be it. Maybe, just maybe. We should be out there looking for that thief right now. They might be still nearby.
Hold it!
Once escaped, I highly doubt the thief would linger nearby.
Well, you never know. Maybe they didn't get that what they were really after.
Oh? You talk like you know quite a bit about this thief.
It's nothing like that. I have no idea about anything after all. I hate to repeat myself, but I was already said I was training in my room.
But according to Mr. Fate's note...
Hold on, I thought we already cleared that up. Thumbs up. Didn't we say that Jim left that note for me in the early evening? If you have proof that he left at a different time, say just before he was murdered.
I don't have any. No.
You see? Thumbs up. So I insist again that I was in my office the entire time. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at Criminal Affairs.
Hold it!
Why did you go there with Mr. Fate?
Ah, thumbs up. That's because he said he was tired and was going to take a quick nap. Jacket on, off. You know those sofas in the hallway? He likes to sleep on those. It's one of his habits.
And what of the evidence he brought?
Ah, they were things related to yesterday's case. Just 2 items. A gun and a pendant. Jacket off.
Interesting. This piece of testimony seems too crucial to let slip through the cracks.
He brought me 2 items, a gun and a pen that are related to yesterday's case. Okay, I'm gonna present that because I remember clearly that the note says that he brought 3 evidence. I brought the 3 pieces of evidence. So one of them is missing.
Objection!
Only 2 pieces? I believe the proper phrase is, you fail.
Excuse me?
You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Portsman, as you intend to keep evidence hidden from me.
What are you talking about? I haven't hidden anything from you.
Well, here's a piece I think you should read carefully.
Ah, it says that Mr. Fate was bringing 3 pieces.
Yes, and this is the victim's real dying message to you, Mr. Portsman.
I can't believe to get tripped up by some simple arithmetic.
Where is the missing piece of evidence?
It's binding his metal.
You have it, don't you? Only the guilty would make such a face. Detective Gumshoe!
You don't have to say it, sir. I'll pat the guy down from head to toe.
No, get away from me! No! Don't come any closer! I'm warning you!
This is all part of the investigation, pal. So don't even think about stopping me.
No!
Hey, what's this? He had this on him, sir. A VHS videotape.
Despite what you said, it would appear that you do have something to hide.
Why would he hide something like that?
There's only one reason why anyone would hide evidence of this caliber. Because it would unequivocally point to that person himself as the real killer. Unequivocally. ...
Biting his metal.
Let's examine this videotape in a little more detail. For the section of the tape that will drive the last nail into his coffin.
There's blood on the bottom.
Ah, that's blood, isn't it?
Yes, and I believe this is what the good prosecutor, air quote, was trying to hide from us. This blood is still fresh.
You mean this might be Mr. Detective Fate's blood?
No, you got it all wrong.
No amount of denial can save you. We have but to run the blood test to find the truth. You told us you had received evidence from the victim earlier. Now you will tell us when and how did the victim's blood find its way onto this video.
Yeah, it's totally suspicious.
Was it at the moment of this death? Did Detective Fate have this videotape on his personage when you killed him?
You know very well there's no way to prove that.
Not even if we were to examine this tape for fingerprints?
Yarr!
If I had to take a guess, I would say that the only ones on here would belong to the murderous you and Mr. Fate.
No, impossible. I'm biting my metal into gold dust. I'm gonna swallow it. Swallow the metal. There you go. He fell into bliss. I don't know why. He fainted. He swallowed. He ate his metal and swallowed it. March 14, 5:47 a.m. High Prosecutor's Offices, room 1202.
Mr. Portsman has been placed under arrest for the murder of Detective Bodyfate, sir.
Very good.
And the result we got back from the lag text on the tape turns out to be real solid, sir. The blood work came back, and it was definitely Mr. Fate's blood on there. And as a bonus, they were also able to lift a few of Mr. Fate's fingerprints as well.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Edgeworth. I still can't believe I got to see your cool deduction skills outside the courtroom. I'm impressed beyond words, sir.
Oh, it was nothing. I'm just sorry you got caught up in the murder in my office. Please accept my apologies. Bow.
Oh, it was nothing really, compared to what I've been through, I mean. I consider myself lucky that I was only a burglary and a murder this time, sir. If it had been a hold-up or a hostage situation, I would have thrown my hands up in the air. I think I'm finally rising up from a goddess of misfortune to just an unlucky person.
Something tells me we should have hired a different person for security detail.
You know something, sir? That Mr. Portsman really was one corrupt prosecutor.
Why would you say he was corrupt?
Well, I heard there were a number of suspicious things related to this court cases. There's even rumors about how some of the evidence he used is forged, sir.
Forged evidence, huh?
And they say he even decided not to prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons.
Oh, that guy was a complete disgrace for the entire profession.
We never did get around to asking what his reason was for breaking into my office.
Yeah, whenever we got near that topic, it just clammed up.
Although we can be pretty certain that it was to steal something.
This is between you and me, sir, but there's a rumor that some sort of huge organization is involved behind the scenes.
Oh? Well, well. With Mr. Portsman not willing to divulge anything, it certainly leads credence to that rumor. It would seem that we haven't heard the last of this.
Huh? That Mr. Portsman isn't the bad guy?
I didn't say that, but rather that there are still many more mysteries for us to solve. For example, we still haven't figured out the significance to this piece of evidence.
The stolen O files?
Take that!
The person who stole this file, the other villain of the night.
Yeah, I wonder who it was.
And what happened to the stolen pages? I wonder, who in the world was it that helped me up at gunpoint?
Mr. Edgeworth, sir.
Yes?
I came across this while I was processing your office earlier, sir.
This card.
It's a black card with white wings, a circle, and 3 legs. Looks like a 3-legged white bird with no face.
What is it, sir? Is that a bird or something on there?
It's not just any bird. It is the mark of the raven. A 3-legged raven. Even you should know what this is, detective.
Oh, it's about that thing, isn't it? The great thief everyone's talking about.
Yes, it is the mark of the great thief Yatagarasu. Under the mark of a legendary bird, the Yatagarasu is noble to the end, a modern Robin Hood. Labeled mysterious and phantom-life, the Yatagarasu appears and vanishes at will.
Now we see the front of a newspaper, the Daily Express Special Edition. Yatagarasu haunts embassy. The notable Yatagarasu vigilante of the business world reappears. And the card they show on the front page of the newspaper clipping is actually a reverse of the card we just received. The black card with a white card with a black bird with wings that looks like a raven.
Though we don't know much about this thief's ultimate goal, we do know the targets. The Yatagarasu likes to find and make public evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts.
Another page, we see corporate dealings exposed.
The theft is always performed in silence and always with perfection. Once the target is chosen, no dramatic calling card or announcement is sent forth. Instead, the chosen corporation is infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some days later, the evidence that was found is sent out to the mass media, along with this single card. Although, it has been a while since the Yatagarasu's last appearance.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, look, something's written on the back.
What? Let me see.
It's the location of where the thief put the stolen files.
So the person who stole the contents of the file was the Yatagarasu? Yatagarasu. Organization. Quite a few key words are popping up in this mystery. The murder in my office. The return of the great thief, Yatagarasu. Looking back, I can't say I didn't see this event coming, for they were heralded by the incidents that began to occur 2 days ago.
The end. So I already finished chapter 1. Do you want to save? I still have some time left. I'm gonna take a little break to stretch my legs and drink some water. So be right back. I'm gonna put you some music. It seems too silent in here. Okay, I'm back. So for those who recognize this song, it is from the official soundtrack from Hellsing, the anime series. The first one, not the OVA with Hellsing Ultimate, unfortunately. Like, if you have to tell me which one I prefer the most, I prefer the OVA over the first one. Although I enjoyed the anime series when it was first released. The soundtrack was amazing. But yeah, if you have to tell me, I think I like the story better. I don't know why. Maybe they were like too afraid to go with the actual plot of Van Sync with the Millennium and all. I don't know if it was because, oh no, we're there not put some Nazi on national television, even though they were the bad guys, and they're doing like a new Reich, like the Millennium of Empire and stuff like that. But that story was better than whatever they were trying to feed us with 13 episode. Besides, I think the back then, the plot wasn't over with. Like it was still ongoing, and they were trying to make a 13 episode like to on that story. Anyway, so let's save here. Let's go with chapter 2, Turnabout Airlines. I'm gonna be able to stream for an hour and a half. We'll see how far I get. I don't know. I'm not gonna finish chapter 2 today, that's for sure. And I wanted to do just a small for rehearse, but I just realized I finished this first chapter longer than the first time. The first time I nailed it under 4 hours or maybe 3 hours and a half. but I was probably more involved with the chat, or I was turning in circles, trying to look for the truth. I didn't. Maybe I made more mistakes by then, but yeah. Here we're gonna talk about turnabout hairline. So this is something that happened 2 days ago.
The murder that occurred in my office. The return of the great thief Yatagarasu. Thinking back, everything began on that fateful day 2 days ago.
Two days earlier. Edgeworth wakes up, there's a pile of blood near him. It's actually wine. And now it rewinds back into a table. Now we see the inside of an airplane. I fly.
Yes, everything began high up in the air, 9,000 feet in the air to be precise.
Thank you for flying our flying lines. We're currently experiencing some slight turbulence. We are asking all passengers to please return to their seats and fasten their seatbelts. Thank you.
The elevator door opens, and then we see, boom. And then we see wine spilled on the floor. Maybe it is blood. I don't know. There is wine and there is blood. March 12, 6:13 a.m. Flight I-390, first floor lounge. Edgeworth is on the floor. Wakes up. Hold his head. Standing up. Collects himself. Deep breath.
Why do I feel like I just woke up from a horrible nightmare?
Check his watch.
6:13, huh? Guess I was out cold for about 10 minutes. Huh. Slight turbulence indeed.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are currently experiencing technical difficulty. So for your safety, we ask that you return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts.
I suppose turbulence is to be expected on the flight. Though admittedly, I'm less than comfortable with anything resembling earthquakes.
Now he goes to the elevator, and then something fell. I think he dropped something and it falls on the bottle of...
What's this? A travel wallet? But it's not mine. How did someone else's travel wallet wind up in my pocket?
Yeah, it was in his pocket. Then when he walks, it fell and it fell on the floor where the stain were.
My head! Oh, why won't this headache go away? I'll take care of this travel wallet later, or hand it off to an attendant. Oh, from earthquake-like turbulence to an elevator.
Dot.
What am I doing hesitating like this? Actually, I know full well why I hesitate. It was when I was still but a young child. I was caught up in a murder that happened in an elevator. But how long am I going to let my past haunt me? It's just an elevator. I'm a grown man now. I need to behave like one. Fuck PTSD.
Then he found a body. There's some catch on his lap, and there's blood in the back of his head, and there's a satchel, like an Addy tag from
Clip. Anyway, what in the world happened?
Is there something wrong, sir? I must ask that you please return to your seat. Hey! He's dead!
Please calm down. We mustn't jump to conclusion without all the facts.
What's wrong? Did something happen? Rubble.
You murderer!
What? No, you have it all wrong. It wasn't me.
March 12th, 6:41 a.m. Flight I-390, second floor, first class. Now we see 3 passengers. One who seems to be drinking the whole bar on his seat. There's a lot of different bottles of alcohol. There's some food. He's drinking something out of a bourbon glass. There's a guy in the bottom who seems to be eating an oversized hamburger steak. There's ketchup on the side. And he seems to be eating a lot. He's watching television. And there's a paranoid guy with a lifesaver, a parachute, and he's wearing a life jacket. And the mask is already came down. Like he thinks that we're gonna die at any minute now. So... Everyone, I am sorry to interrupt, but I have an important announcement. I am one of your flight attendants today, Rhoda Tenero. Unfortunately, we have just had a minor accident on this flight.
An accident? Don't treat us like we're stupid. I got a glimpse it was a murder. What? Murder? What's going on with this flight?
Everyone, please calm down. There's no reason to panic. This flight will stay on course and make its scheduled landing. We are still currently in the middle of a rough patch of turbulence. So until we are out of this area of turbulence, I ask that you please remain seated.
But someone was killed, right? I mean, what about the killer? Let me off!
Please, there is no need to feel threatened. We have already apprehended the culprit. And now they see me tie me down in my chair.
I ask that everyone please remain calm.
What the heck is he talking about? Why should we remain calm?
My name is Miles Edgeworth. I am a prosecutor, and I assure you, I am not the killer.
Ha! Being a prosecutor doesn't make you incapable of murder, buddy.
Now you listen here. I am not the killer. I simply found the body.
So you say, however... Okay, now we see a big book. Like, he seems to be reading the book of law as a hobby. Like, there's a big book in next to Edgeworth's chair. There's a checkboard with a lot of blue and red chess pieces scattered around the board. And then there's another empty seat next to him. I am sure that you are one of the perpetrator of this crime. I swear on my honor as a professional flight attendant.
Oh, is that right?
I know what I saw, and there's even very strong incriminating evidence to back me up.
What kind of incriminating evidence is this? Is she talking about?
We've already alerted the proper authorities at our destination. Until we land, you will remain in our custody by the powers vested in our captain. I'm very sorry, but please understand our situation.
Your situation? I'm more concerned with mine and the direction it's going in. I'm not just about to just sit idly by while I get accused of murder. Miss Tenero, is it?
Yes?
I was wondering if you might give me a chance.
A chance to do what?
A chance to plead my case. And a chance to ask what you meant by incriminating evidence just now.
Oh.
To accuse a passenger of such a grave crime without allowing him to give a proper defense? Can the professional flight attendant inside of you really call this action righteous?
You have a point. Very well, I'll listen to what you have to say. But be wary of what you reveal. I'm afraid you only look even more suspicious if your explanation fails to satisfy. I also do not have the time to deal with you all day, so please make it quick.
Of course. As you wish.
Good. Very well then, let's get started.
I know for a fact that I didn't kill that man in the elevator. What I don't know is what sort of evidence she was up her sleeve. But I'm certain it doesn't fit with how the crime really occurred.
Testimony, what Miss Tenero saw. I swear to tell the whole truth as a professional flight attendant. Unfortunately for you, Mr. Edgeworth, I am certain you are the killer. The scene I saw in front of the elevator, it was you standing there with fresh blood dripping off the murder weapon. So if you would please cooperate, we'll turn you over just as soon as we land.
That's it?
That's evidence? I don't think you could ask for a more perfect witness testimony. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Edgeworth?
Not really. It's hardly perfect when there's a gaping hole in it.
I swear to tell the whole truth as a professional flight attendant.
Hold it!
Tell me, what exactly puts the pro in professional flight attendant for you?
Well, it means we are very professional about how we take care of our passengers. Services like fetching papers and responding to calls are done with speed and accuracy. I can assure you that I give testimony with the same level of professionalism. But I'm sure you have already realized that by now, right?
It's a bit hard to appreciate your professionalism when I'm the one under suspicion.
And there you have it. My professional testimony is accurate and reliable. Unfortunately for you, Mr. Edgeworth, I am certain you are the killer.
Hold it!
You certainly seem sure of yourself.
Bow. Of course, a professional flight attendant can't afford to make mistakes after all.
Perhaps, but you must admit there are few who can't look at murder with a clear mind.
We attendants all go through extensive training and are always calm and collected. We'll even calmly serve you coffee if you so wish as the plane makes a splashdown.
I fail to see how that would be the calm and rational thing to do in an emergency.
Even until the bitter end, we are there to serve the passenger. Bow. That is the duty of all professional flight attendants.
You certainly are confident. Anyway, shall we return to your testimony?
The scene I saw in front of the elevator.
Hold it!
Yes? What did you see in front of the elevator?
That's what I was just about to tell you, Mr. Edgeworth. Framed by the elevator doors and bathed in the light coming from within. It was you standing there with fresh blood dripping off of the murder weapon.
Hold it!
The murder weapon? Dripping with blood? Really now?
I swear that was the grisly scene I saw before me. Thank goodness it wasn't a passenger who saw, or there'd be widespread panic by now.
As I recall, you were quite panicked yourself at the time.
Excuse me?
You were scared enough to misread the situation and accuse me of murder.
Nonsense! Professional flight attendants cannot afford to be that flustered. I witnessed the murder scene and I am now listening to your defense, all with a smile.
Apparently you also lie with a smile on your face.
So if you would please cooperate, we'll turn you over just as soon as we land.
Our mistake shines like the silver lining on a dark rain cloud. And I'm going to capture some of that light with evidence.
Okay, I think I know what it is. Just want to make sure. Yeah, all I got is a travel wallet. That's the only thing that's drenched with blood. Picked up from the elevator in front. Picked up from the floor in front of the elevator. Isn't mine, but whose is it? Then you have the crime scene note. Body found at 6:15 a.m. inside the elevator stopped at the first floor lounge. Yeah. There's a tag missing here. There's a ID on the floor. There's money scattered on the floor. And there's some sort of a statue near where his hands was. And there seems to be a little corner of the statue which appears to be stained with something that looks like blood. And then we have the Sky magazine. Detail meals, movies, and other services inside. Press the check button for details. Flight itinerary. We have meals between 1 and 3, and then 7 and 9, and then 4 and 5. We have drinks at 10, at 5, and at 10, and we have a movie at 6. All times shown correspond to our departure time zone. Okay. So I'm gonna present the travel wallet. Is that the murder weapon?
Objection!
You think I killed someone with a wallet?
Mr. Nero!
What is it with the yelling out of a sudden?
Oh, force of habit. Well, it doesn't matter. Mr. Nero, you say you saw the murder weapon dripping with blood. Is that correct?
Yes, all that blood, drip, drip, drip. Just recalling that scene sends a chill down my spine.
Sorry, but your so-called professional flight attendant training has failed you.
What?
I'd like to direct your attention to this. Do you know what this is?
It's a travel wallet, right? But it looked a little bit big and bulky.
The thing you saw me holding when I discovered the dead body in the elevator was this very travel wallet, Mr. Nero.
What? Impossible!
Now then, you still think I am the killer? That I killed him with a travel wallet?
But I saw blood dripping from the wallet. I know I did.
As you can see, this wallet is clearly stained, but if you would be so kind as to take a whiff, I think you agree it's only grape juice.
Then...
That's right, you mistook grape juice for blood. The murder weapon dripping with blood does not in fact exist.
No!
There, that should clear up that pesky accusation.
Hold it. Wait just a sec. That is... Even a wallet could be deadly if it was wrapped around something heavy. I demand that you show me what's inside, please.
She's trembling and the tacked on please at the end sounds like I've got her. There's no need to look inside, even you can tell from its appearance that it's light.
No, I can't be sure of anything until I see the contents of that wallet for myself.
She's a persistent one. I suppose we have no choice but to see what's inside. Mr. Nero, if you would be so kind as to open the wallet and check its contents for me.
Alright, I usually don't pry into passengers' belongings, but we have no choice here. Oh, I have to do it.
Oh, it seems that this passport is all that's in there.
What's this? Republic of Virginia. So this is a Virginian passport.
As you saw, there is nothing but a passport inside. This renders your wallet was the murder weapon argument moot. Wouldn't you agree?
Hold it! Please hear me out, Mr. Edgeworth.
What is it now?
Well, I was wondering, whose passport is it exactly?
Dot dot dot.
Can I take a look?
Why not? I'm rather curious myself. This is
the victims. Type P, surname Hicks, given names Ackby, nationality Republic of Virginia. Sex M, and then we see a signature. And we see a stamp from the Republic of Virginia Passport Agency. And we have the number of the passport on the top. It's a, well, floral design. It's a pretty nice password, but yeah. Why would I hold the victim's password in my hand? Just as I thought, this travel wallet belonged to Mr. Ackby Hicks, which makes it the victim's property. Wallet data updated in my organizer.
You stole the victim's wallet? Didn't you?
How dare you!
You said it yourself. You claimed to be holding this wallet in your hands when I found you. ...
Perhaps I did misconstrue the wallet for the murder weapon, but it seems that I wasn't wrong about who the culprit is. Mr. Nero's logic. As you claim, the murder weapon is not the travel wallet. However, it is something you stole from Mr. Hicks after you were done with the vile deed. I find it hard to believe myself, but your motive was pretty simple. You were out to steal Mr. Hicks's money, weren't you?
So even though I didn't have the murder weapon on me, you still suspect me, I see.
You stood up at the crime scene with the victim's wallet in your hands. How can I turn a blind eye and not suspect you of foul play? Rebuttal. As you claim, the murder weapon is not the travel wallet.
Hold it!
Shouldn't that be proof enough for you that I did not murder the victim?
Not at all.
Oh, and why not?
Because that wallet may not have been what I thought it was. However, it is something you stole from Mr. X after you were done with the vile deed.
Hold it!
You think I stole it?
Yes, I'm very sorry to say it, and I wouldn't usually be so rude, but it must be said. Question mark. I never thought I'd see the day, but here I am calling a passenger a thief. Maybe I should put on a serious face and say it more directly. I believe you removed the wallet from the victim's personage.
It really doesn't matter how you phrase it. What I would like to know is why you think I stole Mr. Hicks's wallet.
I find it hard to believe myself, but your motive was very simple.
Hold it!
I don't think I have any sort of motive to speak of. I've never met Mr. Hicks before, and our only connection is this one flight.
But that is more than enough of a reason.
How do you figure?
I was sitting in first class, and I think the implication is quite clear. You were out to steal Mr. X's money, weren't you? Okay, I'm gonna present the body because there was some money all over the floor. Body found with money.
Objection!
So yeah, if I stole the money, why would I leave it there?
I wonder if I might get a word in, Mr. Nero.
What is it now?
Mr. Nero, I wonder if you noticed the contradiction within your own testimony.
What are you talking about?
It's simply impossible that the motive for this murder was monetary theft. One glance at the crime scene should have told you that. What about this scene would prove that the motive for the murder was not the money itself?
Take that!
If I may direct your attention to the things strewn all over the floor.
Ah!
That's right, the floor is covered in bills and coinage. By your rationale, these were the very things the killer was after.
Ah!
I think we can assume that the wallet fell during the victim's struggle with his killer. And I would think that the killer would notice something like money scattering everywhere. Furthermore, as you can see, there was no effort made by the killer to gather the money.
But the wallet!
Objection!
Ah yes, the wallet. You will also recall that the only thing in it was Mr. Hicks's password.
Ah! A passport, not password.
If you are really insisting that it was a crime based on greed, then you're claiming that it was all for an empty travel wallet.
Forgive me, please.
Hey, what the heck? Are
you saying the attendant's wrong? So that guy isn't the killer? Huh. Don't believe it, everyone. It's a trick. Yeah.
Will y'all please be quiet? Mr. Nero,
Yes?
you lost your cool when you saw the dead body. Plus, the lounge was dark, and looking into the flight from the elevator, it's easy to see how you mistook the wallet in my hand for the murder weapon. I take no offense that you thought that I was the killer.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Thank you for releasing me.
Click, 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 cuddy-doo, buck, buck, click, click.
What is it now?
There's a... Okay, so there's a foreign person. He has very long curly blonde hair. He's wearing some weird clothing, like some sort of weird beanie hat, striped purple and yellow with some brown stripes. He's wearing some sort of necklace, and he has an animal skin vest. I don't know which animal it is. And he's wearing a long sleeve purple shirt that matches the hat, and he has rings on every knuckle, and he's wearing on his right left wrist some sort of bead necklace, and he's speaking in foreign language. So this is the Borginian, this is the language that I consider being Borginian, because we had to, if you remember Apollo Justice playthrough, we had we met actually somebody from Virginia, and I already assumed like this language is gonna be called Kalidu Kalidu Bak Bak Click Click Dirt.
Kalidu bak bak, click click there, click click, Kalidu bak bak. And Mr. Nero, if you could please translate, I'd be much obliged.
It sounds like Borginian, but I don't understand any of it. There's another attendant on this flight who...
I said that he is giving the runabout. I don't require an interpreter. I speak English just well, see? You, the attendant.
Yes, sir.
I want this person to be under the arrest until we arrive at the airport.
And now, okay, so he's sitting right behind us. He's right now he's stroking a golden statue, but then there's a giant vase next to him, and there's some sort of they looks like expensive art, both of them. So he's probably a collector or an appraiser. ...
I'm sorry, sir, but what exactly are you hoping for? What is it you want? I am finished talking to the likes of you. Please, I would like to hear why you would like me to be held under arrest until we land. You! How dare you try to waste my time? You were the one who stuck your nose into my affairs. I wanted to spend even at least one more seconds with my precious art. I have no time for other things. I know what you are. I see through you. Insolvent. See, I am pretty sure that's how you say it in English.
Insolvent. I think he meant insolent.
You're insolvent. Well, I would hope that I don't dissolve in water, but I don't think that's what you meant. I'm sorry, but I don't think I caught your name. I am Zinc LeBlanc II. I am a very wealthy man in the Virginia. But I am not an ordinary rich man. I am an art dealer, a rich seller of beauty.
Mr. LeBlanc, what did you mean just now?
Pardon?
When you said that Mr. Edgeworth was giving me the runabout?
I have to explain. Unbelievable. I will say it once and only once. I do not have any second to waste. Time is money, as they say. Yes, and yet you continue to blather on. I saw it. Yes, I did. I saw the victim go onto the elevator. Going down to the lounge. It was exactly at 6 o'clock.
Okay, now we see a reenactment of the victim using his ID card to open the elevator, and LeBlanc is sitting next to the elevator, so he sees everybody going in. Edgeworth ... Tenero ... And what's the significance of that time?
At 6, he says. Wait, you saw him at 6?
Ah, what's the matter, Mr. Edgeworth?
He understands, I see.
He takes his gold watch golden pocket watch, and he looks at the time.
Miss Attendant, what time did you discover the body?
Well, it was a little after that patch of turbulence, so I would say around 6:15. Ah!
Hicks was his name, was it? Then I say that man Hicks was killed in the 15-minute time span. And the only person in the lounge at that time was this prosecutor, Les? Yes?
... Yeah, I was in my seat the whole time.
The wine drinker, me too. I was watching the movie and enjoying a fine glass of grape juice.
Well, I was still eating. Still hadn't finished, you see.
Yeah, he's eating a full baguette and a giant Hamburg steak. He looks like the Lord Lad.
The other passengers have an alibi, so you have no problem with them, I suppose. ... No complaint, I see. Not a single word against this, right? I have no way of discounting what you have put forth at this point, but it wasn't me. Oh, so you say, but you do have what you say at the evidence?
Mr. Edgeworth, are you really the culprit after all?
Mr. LeBlanc, I suppose you are quite certain in what you saw, enough to give testimony? Of course, I was looking at that man the whole time. He was playing with that annoying little small machine the whole time. Machine? Yes, that's what you people call it in English, yes? It was making me crazy with the clickety click, 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 clickety click, click. From that description, it sounds like some sort of small computer.
I believe that Mr. LeBlanc is talking about a cell phone. I have to say that I did see him playing with it quite a bit myself.
A simple cell phone? A laptop or organizer I can see, but that's kind of low budget. I hate that nosy little machine in his hand. Clickety click click, clickety click. Another fragment of beauty. All it produces is ugly sound. Anyway, I know what I saw. Miss Tenero.
Yes?
I was wondering if I might be granted permission to examine the crime scene.
What? You want to examine the crime scene?
If you would grant me a little measure of time, I'm sure I can produce the real culprit. I don't like the sound of that. Fox in the dark pen. Yes, I think that's how you say it in the English. It's a fox guarding the henhouse. And I believe my innocence was proven earlier. And if I am given the chance, I can clear up all the remaining doubts. Miss Tenero, if you wait until we arrive, there is a good chance that some evidence will have been destroyed by then.
Tenero ... I understand. Let me see what the captain has to say.
This should not be approved.
Please, Mr. LeBlanc, it is an emergency. All decisions are to be made by the captain alone. Now please wait here while I go ask the captain what to do. I'll be right back. Take a bow and then leave.
You're not planning to erase evidence when you are doing your investigation, yes? Of course not. We will see.
And then she comes back. Mr. Edgeworth, you have the captain permission to investigate the crime scene.
What? Unbelievable! I am in your debt, Mr. Nero.
Bows. However, there is one condition. I am to supervise you. Can you agree to that?
Of course. I see no problem with that stipulation. It's only natural as I'm still a suspect in this case.
I take full responsibility and will watch Mr. Edgeworth's every move. I hope this reassurance enough that there will be no foul play. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, shall we proceed? If you should need my help with anything, please feel free to touch the partner button.
It's time to head to the scene of the crime, the first floor lounge.
Okay, so they're pointing me in that direction. Let me explore the building. So this must be where X's seat was.
This was Mr. Hicks' seat. I don't see the machine Mr. LeBlanc was talking about. Perhaps it's in the elevator? Maybe. Should probably head down to the crime scene now.
Oh, there's a food tray where they serve food. I see crab and beer, and then there's another flight attendant who appears to be sleeping standing still. Sleeping is standing. She's holding some sort of teddy bear. She has very long hair, like all the way down her butt, like mid-calf height. She has very long blonde or light brown hair. How did you find your meal to be, Mr. Edgeworth?
Come to think of it, I forgot all about it. I must have been asleep or something.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Let me prepare you something right away.
What are you apologizing for, Mr. Nero?
I failed in my professional duties by letting a passenger go hungry. Please help yourself. If you see anything to your fancy, feel free.
I think I'll take my time later, after I solve this case, thanks.
Okay, let's talk to...
Excuse me, but may I have a word with you?
She seems to sleep.
You there! ...
Jan?
Oh. If you need something, please ask Miss Rhoda over there, okay?
What the? Hey, wake up, you!
I'm terribly sorry that she's being so rude, Mr. Edgeworth.
No need for you to apologize. I just found it hard to believe she's asleep on the job. If I were a boss, I'd see to it that her salary was cut so low that it was in the red. It's a movie poster for License to Love, Laugh, Maim and Murder. Huh?
That's an iFly Airlines sponsored movie. It's a suspense, hard-boiled action, romantic horror comedy movie. What?
Is that the genre listing for this movie?
Yes, it's a movie that can be enjoyed by anyone because it encompasses all those genres.
I can't even begin to imagine what the plot of this movie would be like.
But you have to admit it has piqued your curiosity, right? I heard the main strategy with this genre listing was to make people curious.
Well then, consider the mission a successful one. Okay, so, sorry?
Let's check the art.
Mr. LeBlanc seems to be protecting the gargantuan vase on the chair rather closely.
It's a marvelous vase, Joe, isn't it? Yes, I dare say so as a professional attendant.
I don't think there's any real connection between a piece of art and being an attendant.
But I'm not just any old attendant. I'm a professional fly attendant.
although there was such a thing as an amateur flight attendant. As though there were. Hurry up and investigate! Time should not be wasted! Precious as human time is how you say it, I believe. Anything here? Sorry, nothing here. This is my seat. I got a tea and a book. This is my seat. Unfortunately, I didn't bring anything particularly useful for an investigation. It's not as if I'm constantly prepared for such a thing to occur. Ah, that's right. I was in the middle of recreating a chess game. Just an observation.
Just an observation, but aren't there too many red knights around that lone blue pawn?
Nonsense! It simply shows what the blue pawn is no match for the red knight's might.
So this is the seat where the paranoid with all the life jackets.
What's a lifesaver doing here?
I bought it at the flight shop, so just beyond the lounge. If something should happen, having one would save your life.
I think this guy would have been better off not taking the plane to begin with.
Don't get near me, you criminal! He said, don't get near me, you're a criminal.
I am not the killer, and I intend to prove that starting now.
But that's contrary to the facts! He says, but that's contrary to the facts.
I can understand his English just fine, thank you very much.
Let's see the other guy.
Hey, miss, how about another glass? Excuse me? I was wondering if you know anything about the murder. How about it? How about a glass together? Sorry, but I must decline.
I wasn't talking to you, I was asking the cute attendant. I'm sorry, but I'm on the clock right now. But if you need a refill, I'll be happy to bring you another glass at any time.
You got it, Toots. That's no way to talk to a lady. Okay. Let's see the eater. If I may have a word with you.
Yes, steak, so awesome.
That's great to hear, however. I would like to ask you a few questions.
I was here all time, so will know.
Eat or speak. Please speak one.
Munch. I think he chose to eat.
Yes, I can hear that.
Okay.
March 12, 7:36 a.m.
Flight I-390, first floor, lounge. You're walking. Okay, so this is where I woke up.
I want to thank you for your help back there, Mr. Nero.
Ah, it was nothing. You should thank the captain for granting you permission. And just so everything is perfectly clear, I still don't trust you to that extent. I don't want you to think your standing with me has changed.
I see. I will bear that in mind.
I received an order from the captain earlier. He wanted you to know that we reserve the right to stop your investigation if we feel you are not making progress. And when we do, he asks that you please return to your seat at that time.
So my time runs out as is as his crew discretions, does it? I have to find a way to discredit Mr. LeBlanc's testimony before time's up. I understand. By the way, is there any place you can think of where the killer might hide on board?
Oh, I don't think so. After every first-class passenger was accounted for at his or her seat,
We made a thorough search of the plane. As for business and economy class, no one can move between those two classes and first class without a staff key card. And we found no record of a key card being used at all.
Which means that I have my first class killer on my hands. At least, I know that much for sure. And one other thing. No one else has been allowed near this crime scene since the murder was discovered either.
Begin investigation. First floor lounge. Yep.
Now then, let's get started.
But where should we start from?
Let's start with Mr. LeBlanc's statement. The crime occurred between 6 a.m. and 6:15 a.m. During that interval, the only person in the lounge was myself, which would make the prime suspect. However, since I did not kill Mr. Hicks, it means that the killer was around somewhere.
Who was the killer? In the logic box. If we are to believe what you say is true, then yes.
The first order of business will be to gather information to win your trust.
Alright, I'm gonna check the logic just to be sure. Because this is my first thing. So, where was the killer? What clues points to where the killers could have been? I'm starting to get a bit tired, and I think that's enough warm-up. For now, it's been 3 hours and 30 minutes. I know I said I wanted to stream for 4 flush hour. Unfortunately, if I get too tired for the play, it's not going to be good either. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to stop the stream here. I'm going to save.